And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode 38. And yes, the term dream match has been restored after Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. had squared off at Wrestle Dream. What an amazing match. What an amazing show overall. I mean, God, just give it up. Give it up, everybody. I'm not ignoring the Bears losing to the Broncos in the comeback fashion. You are. Thank you, as always, for tuning into the No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button, but only after you hit that like button as well. Excuse me. Maybe share us around. Tell your friends. Tell your server instead of accidentally telling them to enjoy their meal. They're working. They're not eating. Come on. What are you doing? You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates or X, whatever you want to call it. And every Friday, 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShyFord. No Substitute for Sports Live, cleaning up anything we don't get to here. Finally, subscribe and like the YouTube page over X-Bomb Sports, as well as the Facebook page. We go live there, talking anything and everything pro wrestling with co-host David Double D Dykstra. Enough said. Enough on the self-promotion, because we got so much to get into today. But actually, there's nothing to talk about today. Football doesn't exist. Chicago has no sports teams, and that's it. Good night. Thank you, Troy, for listening, and Alan for taking your notes.
Check.
Goodbye. No, sorry, just kidding. Don't end it. As you can see, there's a plethora more down below. There's like a ton more red bar left. So, yeah, still a lot of show to get to. Fields shows up. The defense does not. Lions chewed up Mike's Packers and the rest of the league in NFL's Week 4 action. Next, we'll be talking fantasy in our Des Nuts Fantasy Football League. So maybe tune in for any news notes and everything there. Also, some MLB postseason matchups, thoughts, and predictions. I know the first game is actually first set of games are wrapping up today. We'll get to that later on. Lillard to the Bucks, and finally everything from Wrestle Dream on this day. Hopefully the Bears can see clearly. Hopefully everything will come to light, but there's not a chance. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of FatCat_Streams, and that's with a Z. Mikey G. Fat Cat, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. I've got my screwball and I'm ready to get this thing going.
Hell yeah, dude. I know it was a tough weekend of football for everybody. I know you had to chill out on the Thursday, but got to enjoy a little bit of walking around, a little bit of I know we'll be posting this the day of. So honestly, happy birthday to the triplets. Happy birthday, Eric, Alan, and Melanie. Gonna be
Happy birthday.
celebrated them, cheering, rocking around the Six Flags. That was awesome. Haven't been there in forever. When was the last time you were there? Can you even remember?
I cannot. It has been a long time. There's been a bunch of new stuff that they've added I never saw before.
Stuff they've taken away. No more Panda
Yeah.
Express. I mean, I was tremendously disappointed from that, but a bunch of new rides, a bunch of tons and tons of attractions. That was awesome. I mean, so shout out to them. I mean, I'm still a little bit sore. I don't know about you. Overall, that day was great. What was that ride that we went at? Max Force? That was it called?
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe 20 seconds. It's similar to the Top Thrill Dragster. If you head out to Cedar Point, just shoots you out 60, 70 miles plus right at the beginning. You do a couple loop-de-loops and you pull. Your shoes are looking cool, and you're done. I mean, it was a wait, but honestly, a thrill worth the wait. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
so that was pretty fine and dandy. We hit all the top spots. We didn't hit any haunted houses, but from the news around the block, it sounds like we didn't miss much. I don't want to throw any shade, but yeah, Fright Fest. That was what we were doing, chilling over the weekend. Any thoughts? Like I said, any lingering thoughts on Six Flags? Like I said, that was just what a fun weekend. Nice way to celebrate the birthday with the Occhinos.
Oh yeah, it was a fun time. We had a nice decent amount of people with us. It was a nice day and going on just rides like the Raging Bull and the classics, it's always a fun time, man. Raging Bull is one of my favorites. It's just always so damn wild.
It's
How
top. It's
yeah,
top notch. And
the drop is
also,
wild.
yeah. Yeah, that was great. I'm just trying to remember anything else that's changed. It literally has been forever since I've been there. Not a ton has changed, but enough that I'm just like, holy
They
cannoli.
kind of rebranded that whole area where like Vertical Velocity and Batman is and stuff. It's like DC Universe now,
Yeah,
and
you're right. Yeah,
they
because that
changed
used to be
Vertical
Mardi
Velocity.
Gras-ville.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you're
exactly.
right.
They
Yeah.
changed that to like the Flash ride now, Vertical Velocity, and the Loggers Run ride is like Aquaman something. I
Yeah.
saw it when we walked past it. So that's
And I,
cool
and I
that
know
they
it was
got more shit
October.
like that.
Hurricane Harbor might have been closed, but I think they may have moved it all entirely. I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, a lot of stuff has changed, but yeah, we gotta get baby back out there sometime next summer. I don't know about any time this. I don't know how much longer it's gonna be open for the Fright Fest. Probably up until a
Yeah.
little bit after Halloween. But shout out to them. That was fun. But we need more action. We need more. Not the spooky characters, but during the day, you need more. Need more Bugs Bunny out there. Need a little more Daffy Duck action. Maybe some Porky Pig out there saying what's up to the kiddos. Hey, come on. You can't just be like the Viper ride. The Viper, the Viper. So there
Viper
you go.
takes. That's not
There
good.
you go. Finally, I mean that was basically a nice little intro slash setting up for the appetizers. I had one last quick one for the appetizers. The term kayfabe, and obviously you know what that means, Mike. It's a wrestling term, refers to basically keeping the storyline, keeping it for real, keeping the wrestling as real as possible. So whether that's a heel not breaking character outside of the arena, being a dick to a kid outside, like, hey, can you sign my autograph? Fuck off, something like that. That's kayfabe. That's what you want us to do. Kayfabe is officially in the dictionary. The term is officially in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Just wanted to say
Wow.
that wrestling continues to change and inspire history. That's all I wanted to say. Any thoughts on kayfabe officially being in the dictionary, Mike?
That's awesome. Give us wrestling fans recognition. That
Oh
means
yeah,
that there's enough of us for them to recognize it. So I love that.
it's being thrown
That's
around
awesome.
so much on probably on Twitter, on X enough. They're like, hey, I mean, we're running out of words to add, probably running out of words to get rid of. So there you go. It's
What's the definition?
oh, damn it, I probably should have had that ready. let me let me look it up really quick.
Yeah, I would like to know what they officially put for it.
So Merriam-Webster definition of kayfabe. Let's see what pops up. The Oh boy, I'm gonna need another one. The tacit agreement between professional wrestlers and their fans to pretend that overtly staged wrestling event stories characteristics are genuine. That is the official definition of kayfabe. I don't like that they threw in the word pretend,
No, I was
but
about to
it
say I
is
don't like
exactly
that.
right. But I don't like the word that they use pretend in there.
No, not a fan of that, but it
Ah,
is pretty accurate.
yeah, no, it's exactly right. Oh man, the tacit. But I like that they word the tacit agreement. Hopefully, I'm using that word correctly. Though I'm pronouncing that word correctly. The tacit agreement between professional wrestlers and their fans to pretend that overtly staged wrestling events, stories, characteristics, etc., are genuine. It seems like not a wrestling fan wrote that definition. I don't know.
Probably
Maybe they
not.
just caught someone on the wrong day. But that's I don't know. I feel like it could have been written a little bit nicer. Either way, that was
Shame on them, man.
reworking
They're
Merriam-Webster.
gonna
Come on.
add us and disrespect us like
Just
that.
like
Come
that. I
on.
was I was all hyped now right now. Now I'm kind of flipped out. I'm glad you asked what the official definition was.
Yeah, I was
Um
curious.
yeah, no, that's it. If you're good on that, we can head into some NFL action. And we'll be doing that, obviously talking Bears, Packers, and the rest of the league. Fantasy afterwards, NFL, MLB, and wrestling. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome possum. In which case, just before we head into the recap of all that fun junk, the NFL announces that they're loosening restrictions on players and their sports gambling. So let me take a quick little just on the official what exactly went down. The N of from NESN, the North New England Sports News, I believe that's what it is. Uh NFL and NFLPA revised their gambling policy Friday, both loosening the restriction for betting on outside sports and strengthening the restrictions for betting on NFL games. So the revisions on from both sides of it. So basically, from what I understand, okay. There's still actually more. The new outside betting policy carries a 2-game suspension without pay for the first violation, a 6-game suspension without pay for the second violation, and a suspension without pay for at least 1 year for a third violation. Those who do bet on NFL games are subject to an increased discipline, with violation resulting in a 1-year suspension at minimum and 2-year suspension if betting on their own team. If a player is caught attempting to fix a game, they will be banned from the league. So let me see. I believe it was the wide receiver on the Lions, and then there was a wide receiver on the Titans that are going to be coming back effective immediately. Players remain eligible to wager on non-NFL sporting events while they are away from the team facility. So that's still
Well,
intact. That being away from the team facility, even being across the street, that's enough to just bet on a game. So that's more than okay. Uh, all good news. That's all I got to say on my end. Just glad they're loosening it up. Loosening it up on one end while really harming down on the parts that they should be. If you're fixing games, banned from the league. Goodbye, jail. Like, you should be done. So I I clap it up. I applaud that was a good move to go, good way to go. Any thoughts on that?
yeah, I love it. I mean, they should still be able to gamble even if they're not at the facility or if they're just doing their own thing. Why not, man?
I really wish, if they were, just doing some bench presses and then they could just like look at like, oh man, quick little nerfy. Fuck, I gotta just it's not worth it. But maybe it is, but it isn't. So it can really come down to stuff like that. Gotta be
Definitely
smart.
could be a distraction for sure.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. So again, glad that they're loosening on one end, but really coming down on the other end, which is exactly how it should be. Alrighty. If you're good on that, we can talk our own respective teams. As always, I throw it up to you. Do you want to go first, talk a little Packers? Do you want me to just get this over with on the Bears?
uh I feel like you start with the Bears both the past couple times, so I don't know. I could go with the Packers, but it will be quick.
No problem.
Thursday night game, Amazon. Forgetting again it's on Amazon because it's dumb as hell. It's this. We were actually watching it at
Yeah, we're at our local
yeah,
bar.
we were at our local bar watching it.
Local
So I didn't have
drinking
to worry
hole.
about that. But I will say, when at these Thursday night games, I still forget. I'm on TV, like, where the fuck is the game at? Like, what the fuck? So, but
The amount of times I've had to teach my dad how to get to Amazon Prime for the game, I don't have enough fingers to on my hands. So it's every week, but
oh, there's always something.
you do it. You got to do it. You got to set it up.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Um,
Sorry.
Thursday night, Lambeau Field basically was Ford Field with all the Lion jerseys in the crowd. We got whooped in the first half, just fucked up. Nothing could be going right for us on defense or offense. Had a little bit of momentum in the second half and made it. I think they were within a one possession game. They just had to get the ball back and they could have tied it up, but they just fucked up. I know Quay Walker had that penalty jumping over the pile, cooking us again, just like he did last year, pushing the trainer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was so stupid. But Pat, I'd like to come back. They almost came back, but Lions continue to put it on us. David Montgomery, 3 touchdowns, just cooked us up.
Career high in carries.
And
32.
I mean, Jordan Love, not horrible, but definitely could have played better. Watson didn't get too much involved the first game.
He was on a pitch count.
Yeah. And Aaron Jones, I might still be dealing with a little lingering injury, but hopefully he can get more involved and we can get that offense going this upcoming Monday night game against the Raiders. So yeah, I mean, go Pack Go as always. I still have faith in the team. I mean, I see people writing them off already, like Jordan Love sucks. I just see it in like Packer fan pages or whatever. This team is not gonna win. Like we lose one game, it's all right. There's always next week. They'll figure it out, polish the things up that they were fucking up on, and hopefully we can get a win against the Raiders.
It's definitely possible. Raiders are not doing very well. And then Jimmy Garoppolo could come back, but even if so, not that big of a difference.
Devontae Adams,
Just got to worry about
game.
Devontae Adams, but he's also was dealing with some injury during the game. Didn't do too well. Only thing I got really from Packers side of things, just 12 carries on the ground, totaling for 27 yards. They were down all that game, so I mean it makes sense that not a lot of rushing attempts. Jordan Love's longest rush was 9 yards, and he still finishes with -2 yards. Just thought that was interesting. But looking at the passing, I mean, it's clear cut that Romeo Doubs. I mean, again, Watson on the pitch count, he gets the touchdown, but Romeo Doubs has a pretty solid connection between him and Love. So that's going to be the 9 for 95 on 13 targets. So that's pretty solid overall. On the flip, so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be the one. I was saying on the Friday show, it's going to be growing pains with Love. He's not going. He hasn't been very accurate, but that time will come. He has a very solid offensive line. It's not going to. It's exactly that. He's going to improve. That's going to be the thing. It's going to take a little bit of time. That's just going to be the thing. So, it's been painful as much as the Bears fan it is to say, and I want to throw up like saying like, oh great, with more time he's going to get a little bit better. But yeah, that's the realistic part. Like he's going to get better as the time comes, unless he does a full 180 and sucks. But overall, I mean you see it. You see there's opportunity. Like you said, they weren't completely out of it. But just like I said, just a crazy, just a huge game out of Montgomery. He had 3 scores. And like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs owners are just going crazy. The fantasy owners. Other than that, yeah, I mostly already talked about the Thursday night game on the Friday show. So that's about it. I wouldn't hang your head like you've been saying. That was a good game. I was glad that the Packers got stomped. Like it's just said, it has been a long time since the Packers have gotten bullied around, especially in a divisional matchup. So as a Bears fan, I enjoyed watching that. So, yeah. Any last final lingering thoughts on this Thursday night game?
No. Go Pack, go, man. On to next week.
There you go. Yeah, like you said, you're playing the Raiders.
Yes, sir. Monday.
Is that that's a Monday night game?
Yeah.
And is that in Lambeau or is that in Las Vegas?
I think it's in Las Vegas.
Ooh, that's gonna be a dirty little weekend. They're gonna be out in Vegas. They're gonna be drinking, gambling.
Oh no.
Who knows what's gonna be going on? Well, what's good for me is come Friday, I can potentially talk about not just one Bears loss, but maybe 2 Bears losses because the Bears will be playing Thursday night, and because you know how the calendar works, Thursday becomes before Friday, so I'll be able to talk about that on the Friday live show. So there you go. Maybe soon a little teasing for that ball game. On to this, another disappointing loss for the Bears. Oh boy. I mean, how many exhales can I really do? Let's see. Should we make a compliment sandwich? Should we make a positive on top and all the bullshit in the middle, then and positively? Let's try and do that. It was nice that Justin Fields had a good game. He had a very, very nice game. The one interception was crucial, and also the throwing it into the ground, the fucking intentional grounding, not good, not exactly what we need, but he had a very nice game. And you would think, oh, 300 plus yards total offense from him. He's bound to have run for 100 of those yards. No, he only ran for like 20 some odd yards. I wish he ran for the 4th and 1, but it is what it is. That's not his choice. He threw it up to Eberflus, who's showing his incompetency left and right. Like I said, Fields had a nice game. 300 plus yards. He made DJ Moore look like a stud. Exactly what they would want for out of that first round pick, out of that trade that the Bears made. That was good. That's what was exciting. I was glad to see that the Bears were able to move the ball and dominate the shitty Broncos offense, defense, every which way around it. It's unfortunate, and now into the bad part of this compliment sandwich. The Bears defense is absolutely abysmal. The coaching is awful. The play calling is, what are we doing? Everybody is just throwing their hands up in the air, and there's just every which way. I can maybe get over the first 4th and 1 very early in the game, but then going forward after a timeout late in the ball game, still could have points. You can still do this, do that, and I don't know. Again, I'm torn between most likely the Broncos were going to score anyways, and a field goal wasn't going to do it enough anyways, and just like that was a horrible play call for that 4th and 1 attempt towards the end in that fourth quarter. So, wow, just disappointing. Bears, this was both, I mean, for both teams, Bears and Broncos, they were coming in probably saying to each other, all right, this is our get right game. This team is struggling. It's time for us to get our first win. Both teams had that opportunity, and clearly the Broncos were able to capitalize on that. Shout out to Russell Wilson. He let's ride, I guess. You let him cook. That's not good. All those memes in the beginning of the first half, they guess they all went cold. And I kind of blame myself because you heard me. I was sitting there. I was counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm like, if the Bears win this one, when the Bears do this, Bears hadn't done jack shit because the final score hadn't gone up, and I had already said a bunch of things. So I can you know what? Maybe this was my fault too. So I'll take one. I always take one at least every year. I'll take this one too.
No,
Bad loss on my end. And then it's just the the crazy side in me. Either way, this is crazy. Every single week, 0-4, possibly going 0-5. The Commanders are 7-point favorites. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
I saw that.
7-point
It's
favorites.
ridiculous.
Sam Howell's gonna cook the Bears. You know that. Like, it's absolutely gonna be crazy. I can only hope that the Bears cover. I don't see the Bears winning, but it's again, it's not out of the window that the Bears, even with this terrible Commanders offense, they could probably end up losing by like 10 or 14. I wouldn't put it out of the way.
Yeah. If you
That's
told me that the Commanders would be minus 300 favorites against the Bears this season,
in the
preseason,
preseason,
I would have told you you're crazy.
yeah, I would have told you to go fuck yourself. Like, you're just trying to troll me. You're a dick. Bears getting 10, 14 wins. Like I said, no, the Bears will be lucky to get 2 or 3 this year. Overall, yes, just highly disappointing. I can, like I said, DJ Moore had a nice game. Glad to see Cole Kmet getting 2 touchdowns, but it was that Bears defense that just absolutely just didn't show up. Wish there was more opportunity for the Bears offense to score and pull something together, but I don't know. This was rough all the way around. This was terrible. 17-0 in the fourth quarter. That basically sums it up right there.
Oh my god.
So enough belly aching, enough bullshit, and like I said, I'll probably more deep dive on Friday when it comes to numbers wise, what happened and what went wrong. Maybe I'll get some sound bites of how stupid Eberflus sounds, and I'll be previewing, or actually I'll be recapping Thursday night as well. We'll have to basically see what happens there. So tune in for the Friday show, tune in for the live show. That's what I'll be doing over there. If you're good on that, we can hit the rest of week 4. How's that sound to you?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Awesome possum. We could start with the London game. This was awesome because this was also the Toy Story game. This was Falcons Jags. Jags win this one 23-7, again from London. Overall, it was like watching a little glitchy video game, and for the most part, some parts were pretty accurate. So if
It
you were a kid,
was.
yeah, if you were a kid, it was pretty entertaining. It went by pretty fast because there was no commercials. It was just NFL trivia and Toy Story trivia. So my girlfriend and I were having a ball. My girlfriend was like, every game should be like this. And I'm like, you know what? Not half bad. It was pretty low key. It was pretty brutal. There was no replays. So you kind of did have to like the simulcast if I was watching the real game on my phone and had the other one on my TV for the time. But overall, fantastic. Slinky is the chains, and they got the aliens going around. They got the crane moving the ball. It was a good old time. All the little animations. It was fun. I mean, what were your thoughts? Any thoughts, questions, concerns on this one? This was great. And then the actual game itself was not too bad.
I loved it. I mean, I watched the whole game on Disney Plus because this doesn't happen often, and I was just like, fuck it. It was early in the morning. I'm gonna just leave it on while I'm just still chilling around. And it was just awesome. And yeah, when I saw the side by side comparison of that and the actual game, certain plays, it was very, very, very close to what was actually happening in the game, which I like. Technology nowadays is just so wild that they're able to do stuff like that. But yeah, like, kind of janky, kind of, laggy sometimes, but what can you do? It's the fact that was a live broadcast and they were able to,
The first year.
do that, and the
You can only hope.
announcers.
Yeah, you can only hope it'll get better.
Oh yeah, the announcers were killing me. I loved that Booger McFarlane. I forget who the other guy's name was, but they were just so funny how they were just so nonchalantly just mentioning, like, just acting as if they were in Andy's room and just like, James, like, Williams' first interception here in Andy's room. Like, that was his first career.
With that one, Booger McFarlane got me. And I don't know. This the only one that's sticking with me is he's like, is this shag carpet? Or is this regular carpet? It's kind of important, like the way that they're running on Andy's room. I like that's hilarious. And yeah, sure enough, everything was the first touchdown in Andy's room. Amazing.
And like he'll be like, they would just be talking like during the game, and Booker would just be like, the crane is actually doing a great job tonight. I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
expecting it to be so good. It's found the ball.
How about the halftime show?
Oh yeah,
Their version of Evil Knievel, Rocket Ledoux. I
I
don't know.
forgot what his. Yeah, I already
Boom,
forget
boom,
what his
kaboom,
Kaboom. It was Duke
Joe Kaboom,
Kaboom,
Duke
I think, something
Kaboom.
like that.
Yeah. I jumped over not one, not two, not three, but four, not five, but five buses, five school buses. And then he did another stunt, and then another one of those where Booger
Yeah.
McFarlane goes, talk about a man who's committed to his job. I'm like, talk about a man who's working hard today. I'm like, goddamn right, Booger. He's having so much fun. It's not like everyone was having fun other than the Falcons. Of course, they ended up losing. Bijan a good fantasy day. Drake London, a touchdown in London. So shout out to him. Hopefully, maybe somebody took that prop. But it's an okay day for like Trevor Lawrence. I was only paying attention because I had fantasy going as well. Yeah, decent little game. They stay out there. The Jags do. I think they're playing the Bills coming up, but in a different stadium. They won't be in Wembley this time. So they're another home away from home. They're still out in London, but they're the away team this time. The Bills will be considered the home team.
So are they on their bye week this week or something? What the?
The Jags, no.
So they're still in London.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think they flew. They came in last week, Wednesday or Thursday, and they've been there since. And they've been there ever since. They're not gonna go. It's not like they would make no reason to go back.
Well, no, if they're playing the game this upcoming week, why
Yeah,
would
I would think they're probably gone by Monday at the very latest. If not right after the game on Sunday. So
yeah,
that's another early one. That's another 8:30 ball game. So again, check your lineups, make sure you're all ready to go, and then also check any fans and any gambling as well. 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 and over, and then everything else involved with that. Let's see. Dolphins, Bills. I was way wrong on this one in terms of the over-under. I thought that was a trap. I got cooked. 48-20 is the final. Bills get this one. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Mostly Josh Allen just continues to just wipe up the Bills, or the Dolphins, excuse me. But yeah, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs together tore it up in fantasy, tore it up in real life. Continue to beat up the Miami Dolphins. And then for the Dolphins, maybe just a real snap back to reality moment. What were your thoughts on this ball game?
Yeah, the Dolphins have been hyped up so much. They've been rightfully so. They've been cooking teams left and right. But time to get Brock back down to earth by Josh Allen and company because they're just the better overall team at the end of the day. And they prove it every year, but they always just have their hiccups and run into Patrick Mahomes, which fucks them over. So I've always been a fan of the Bills. I love their social media team. The TikToks and stuff they post after wins make me laugh so hard. And Josh Allen he just seems like a great person and he's an awesome QB. So it was a great game. Bills just dominate. And I think the Bills are for sure one of the best teams in the AFC right now, if not the best.
They are playing so
their
angry.
defense looks great, and yeah, their offense is just always good. Josh Allen had the bad week one where he threw a couple interceptions against the Jets, and he's just been playing so well since. I think that he has the second best odds to win MVP right now. He's just been cooking it up. So
if I'm not mistaken, did they not score 100? They probably scored 100 plus these past 3 weeks. They've had 30. They had 30 in week 2. They had 30 plus in week 2. They just had like 37 against the Commanders, and then now 42 against the Dolphins.
wow.
They're cooking it up after that. Josh Allen seems to just have the jitters against the Jets, but after that, it's been smooth sailing, no problem, beating up the Raiders, the Commanders, and now the Dolphins, just all 3 in a row. Yeah, that's
Diggs.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, you were enjoying those two. You had the hook.
I will get more into it when we talk about fantasy, but
oh yeah, that was a big game. Ravens Browns 28-3. Ravens woke up and found out at like 10:30 that bang boom bada boom. Deshaun Watson will not be playing, so the line flipped from the Ravens being 2-point dogs to 2-point favorites.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, DTR was not ready for prime time. I think he had 3 interceptions. It happens. Like I said, with the news coming basically 2 hours before kickoff, it is what it is. But that was an absolute shellacking. Just shout out to Mark Andrews for showing up in fantasy. Like I said, we'll get a little bit to that later. But that was a overall decent game. The Ravens for sure needed that and kind of got a little bit of a layup for not having Deshaun Watson. Does it go? Can I say for certain that the Browns win with Deshaun Watson there? No, but probably a little bit closer. Any thoughts on this ball game?
Yeah, I had the Browns winning this when I thought Watson was in, but yeah, sadly he gets taken out very early. And when you're a rookie and you get thrown into the fire like that, you're not ready at all against a team that's coached by a spectacular coach like John Harbaugh, and they've got a good defense. So that was a tough outing for the rookie. And the Ravens,
yeah, in your first regular season start, he played over the preseason. Didn't look too bad, but
no,
yeah, overall not the best first start during your regular season.
it's a rough game for
Oh
sure.
yeah, for sure. Also some rough games going on after this one. Steelers Texans getting a 30-6 win in this one. Texans might not be contenders, but they have some building blocks, and that should be pretty exciting for the Houston fan. I don't know many Houston fans, so I'm guessing I'm guessing there's at least one. They fill up the stadium kinda, unless that's all AI. Steelers fans, Steelers in general, is the panic button out? Are we hitting that panic button?
Yes.
Are you hit? So is it just out, or are you hitting it?
I'm hitting it.
Oh, okay. All right.
If
I
our
mean,
defense is getting cooked by the Texans and our offense, the offense is worse than the Bears.
oh, oof.
I think
I
the
mean,
Steelers' offense is worse than the Bears. They only have Pickens. That's literally
yeah.
all they have. Najee had a decent game last week, but I mean, Deontay Johnson's hurt. Kenny Pickett hasn't done shit. I don't think. How many touchdowns have the Steelers even scored this year
Oof.
offensively? I don't
Yeah, not
know. It's
very
like
many.
they just seem
Definitely more than the
horrible.
Giants. Yeah.
I
Or actually,
mean,
excuse me, more than the Bengals. The Bengals too. Very stinky.
wow,
The
that's
Bengals only
crazy.
have I think the Bengals only have 3 offensive touchdowns.
That's
That was the
wild.
stat. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
all unexpected. But
yes.
yeah, the Steelers look bad, and their coach Matt, they're just offensive coordinator. I forget what his name is.
Matt
Matt
Canada.
Canada. He's horrible. And Mike Tomlin said there's going to be changes after the game. So let's see what happens. Let's see what
Oof.
they do.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, and also Kenny Pickett going down. Not gonna suspected not to miss time, but still, that's damning for them if he comes up injury in any injury for a long period of time with him. That's gonna hurt them for sure. Vikings Panthers, a 21-3 win for the Vikings.
Mm.
Finally, they needed that one for sure. It's a rough one, but a win is a win, I suppose. Keep losing, Panthers. Helps the Bears. So does the Bears losing. So yeah, and then yeah, shout out to Shafter. The silver lining, you got the top two pick. Thanks, dude. Literally, what minutes after that comeback win, you just the Broncos and Russell Wilson just drag their balls on our head. You're gonna fucking do that. You're gonna
Well,
tweet
he's
that
just
out to
waiting
us.
for the next headline.
Oh, I know. It's
The
his
second
job. It's what he's supposed to do. Uh, regardless, Vikings still don't. That doesn't prove anything to me. I mean,
no.
Kirk Cousins had an awful game. Uh, besides the 99-yard touchdown interception, or excuse me, the pick six. It maybe should be a 21 or 28 to whatever 6-ball game for the Vikings, but even then, that's not very impressive to whip on the Panthers. You should have beat them by more if you're this big contender. I'm nowhere near sold on the Vikings. I said it every week. That team could have 11 Justin Jeffersons. They wouldn't do anything in my mind. That team's awful.
Wow.
Rams Colts 29-23 in overtime. Go the win for the Rams on this one. Nakua and Kyron Williams are for real. Anthony Richardson also for real? Question mark. Interesting
Mm.
comeback. Just short though for the Colts. Overall, pretty exciting. And like I said, huge game for Puka Nakua. Just everyone just continuing to praise him. Whoever got them in your fantasy waiver wire, shout out to Allen. He made the right move. At the time, I thought it was an overspend, but no, he probably basically paid the right price if we all knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
So, uh, in that sense, all as well. Like I said, the Rams continue to be just interesting, and I had them on the pick 'em. I took them to win this ball game. So, wish they didn't need to come down to overtime to win it and make me sweat, but win is a win. Any thoughts on this game in general? Any thoughts on this teams?
Um, yeah, Rams are decent this year, and they haven't even had Cooper Cup this whole time. So
Systems wide receiver. He's just a systems wide receiver.
there's no damn
I
way,
was
man.
telling you about that take, and I
Yeah.
finally sent a post to you. It's real. People really think that, unless it's a joke, unless they're playing me. But it's a little funny. That's absolutely hilarious. what,
Was,
what was it? The tweet said the Cooper Cup's triple crown, or Puka Nakua proves that Cooper Cup's triple crown is a joke or whatever, that it's faulty. I'm like, okay, for sure. Sent to Mike.
yeah, we'll see what happens. If once Cooper Cup comes back, I'm sure he'll be cooking it up again, and maybe we'll see if Puka Nakua can still cook it up on his side too. It should help Cooper Cup, and I mean, if he's a real deal, this should just make the offense even better.
Yeah.
So
I haven't really been paying attention to the Rams' offense, but makes sense just to probably do what they have been doing. Put Cooper Cup in the slot, Nakua wherever he has been going, unless he's been in the slot guy. I don't know. Either way, it's looking pretty interesting as long as Stafford stays healthy. But again, you could say that for any team.
Yeah,
Buccaneers, Saints. Derek Carr was fucking atrocious.
he was
Buccaneers,
hurt.
he was hurt, but sure, you can't go out there 23 for 37 for 127 yards. Awful.
Oh,
26-9 win for the Buccaneers. And on top of that, 13 of those 23 passes went to Alvin Kamara. And you know how
thank
many
you.
yards? Thank you for PPRs for PPR purposes, but 33 yards, 2.5 yards a reception is insane. That's rough. So again, for PPR purposes, you loved it. I know that was fantastic, but just looking at the numbers for Derek Carr's numbers, that's terrible. That is awful. So a bad game. Again, a lot of people are praising Baker Mayfield. Mike Evans goes down, but Chris Godwin. Why do I always want to say Chase Godwin for some reason? Chris
Mm.
Godwin looked pretty fine. I mean, he stepped in. He's a solid number 2 already, and he steps into Mike Evans's role, and he does just that. So Buccaneers Saints Bucks looking better than probably looking like the team to win that division, if not if not
And
the Falcons.
they were plus 600, right? They were the lowest odds to win the division. And I think I said
Mhm.
on here that if I would take them to win the
Yes, you
division if I
did.
would bet on something.
Threw it up there as a flyer. There you go. I went with a safer one. I said the Falcons. We'll see how that goes. When push comes to shove, I think that would be a fun ball game if they didn't already play.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Commanders Eagles 34-31 overtime win for the Eagles. This one's on Riverboat Ron, and you got to take that. Probably got to take that nickname away from him right now. Your players are too tired for one more play, so let's go for the extra point and then
Is that
play
what he
10.
said?
Yes, he said his players were too tired for one more play, so let's play 10 more minutes of overtime instead of one more play with no time left to win the ball game on the road against the odds-on favorite to win the NFC, not just the division, to win the entire NFC. And you say, let's go for the extra point. Let's go into overtime. Bonkers. You could have made a statement win right there. You were
They would
on
have
the
won.
road. Yeah, they would have for sure. There was no time left, if not enough for them to actually make a play. Crazy was that decision, and you deserve that loss. That's on Ron. That's on Ron Rivera. So boy, that's rough. So Eagles get not a layup or not an easy one, but definitely survive on that one and get one maybe they shouldn't have. Uh, yeah, that's just crazy. Any thoughts on that one?
Oh, I had a little something on the Eagles when they were down early. I live bet them responsibly.
Responsible.
And when they scored that last second touchdown at the end, I chalked it up as a loss. I was like, well, if they're about to just run this 2-point conversion and win this game easily. They drove down the field, no problem, with like
Yes,
a
dude.
minute left. Like if they, I say it too, and teams have been doing it all around the league. I've seen the Packers do it multiple times already this year, going for 2-point conversions, and they've got it every time so far. Why kick a field goal from 15 yards out or however far it is when you can just go for the 2 at the 2-yard line and get an extra point? Or in that case, they could have just won the game. It's
Yeah.
like, why not just go for it? And like you said, when you're playing a team like the Eagles, which was just in the Super Bowl last year, it's like,
And they're in your division. You're already getting
yeah,
labeled like you're a 2-1. The Eagles are 3-0. You could be tied at the top of the division. Nah, we're gonna be conservative. Crazy. That is unreal to me. And then again, even that would be a three-way tie with the Cowboys because they had a layup with the fucking against the Patriots. Uh yeah, just that was a rough one for sure for the Commanders fans.
interesting call.
Yeah. Bengals, Titans, and that might be that we might be looking back right at the end of the year, like what went wrong for the Commanders if it comes down to a wild card spot or not. That could be it right there.
Wow.
Sorry. Bengals, Titans. Titans take a 27-3 victory at home. Bengals fans, not only is that panic button out, you're slamming on it. This was unacceptable. You
Yes.
can make all the excuses for Joe Burrow's hurt, but at that point, then why is he even out there if he's that banged up and he's doing that poorly? Derrick Henry had a nice game, nice little renaissance for him. But overall, I mean, having the Titans do that to you, I get it. Tough team. Vogel's not gonna just lay down and die to the potential AFC leader or whatnot, but damn, these Bengals look atrocious. And Jamar Chase clearly upset.
I'm open.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm always open. That statement, that's rough. A lot of these top receivers not looking too happy. Of course, Justin Jefferson is performing, but I don't think that he's probably not happy with all the losses. So trade requests coming soon in fantasy and in real life. Let's
Wow.
see. Anything on the Bengals and Titans 27-3 loss? Bengals loss. Titans win.
The Bengals need to figure something out. Derrick Henry throws a touchdown against them this game. They're just getting embarrassed. They were literally had it lined up. The Bengals called a timeout and they ran the same play and they still got it on them. So it's
Yeah.
just like for show. And
If that
Joe
happened in
Burrow.
Madden, you would quit the game. You would turn off your PS5, your Xbox, and you would go watch a movie or something.
Oh yeah, if someone threw a touchdown on me with Derrick Henry in Madden, I would be so mad.
That or for you, like they came out with the exact same alignment after you call the timeout and you're like, oh man, I just changed my defense. This is locked in, and they just just over the top, no problem. Derrick Henry's a mad
Touchdown.
animal touchdown. You're all just sitting there like, yeah, he does the layup like Tannehill. Bonkos.
The
Wrapping up on yeah.
Bengals played themselves. I think that they're cooked. Joe Burrow's hurt, and they brought him in too early. They were saying in the preseason this was an injury that he should have sat out for maybe 4 weeks, and I think that he rushed himself, put himself in this position, and now they're in a spot where they can't take him out and let him rest because you're already fucking 0-4 or 1-3 now at this point. So
Yeah.
it's like now you're gonna take him out and let him rest, and at this point you could be 1-6, or maybe win a game, or it's just they're in a rough spot right now if he's actually dealing with something, and it is going to be a rough patch this season if they don't figure it out.
They get an opportunity. They play the Cardinals this week, but I think in my brain, 1-3 already lost 2 division matchups, so that can come down. That could be a big factor as well. Looking ahead, we got a few more ball games to wrap up. Raiders Chargers is 24-7 victory for the Chargers. Little banged up. Justin Herbert breaks his hand. His non-throwing hand. I think there was a finger, or it fractured a finger. That's the broke. That I think that was the diagnosis. So they ended up getting really nothing in the second half. No points scored at all. But honestly, with Herbert going down, Eckler is most likely he's gonna be ready to return. This bye week couldn't have come at a better time for them. Trying to flip it onto the Raiders side. Not having Jimmy Garoppolo, again, if he plays, do they win? I don't know. But just seeing that they were able to come back a little bit is probably just on the Charger side of, man, this defense is pretty awful. So they're gonna need wins. They're just gonna need to outscore them by a lot and not have to rely on that defense. Anything on the Chargers and Raiders?
Yeah, the Chargers defense has always been horrible, and their offense has to keep them in games, but they were able to get lucky and play against another rookie quarterback in this one, so they get the job done here and they're able to get another win as they should. So
yeah, they get a pretty early bye week. Like I said, they'll be back week 6 and most likely get some healthier people going. Patriots Cowboys. This was just an absolute beatdown. 38-3 victory for the Cowboys at home. Mac Jones is absolutely trash. Cowboys defense might carry the Cowboys just far beyond belief, and just overall just another beatdown. Not really nothing to focus on, just unless you really want to dog on how bad Mac Jones was.
They are just, the Cowboys are a powerhouse, and their defense is very good. They
Yeah.
have a stellar offense, so good look out
I'll
for any team
I'll
that
pull it
needs.
back on Mac Jones a little bit. He is awful, but
No,
I
he's
mean, who
horrible.
he is awful, but who does he have to throw to? Juju Smith-Schuster, who's just done, and I'd rather be thrown to my mailman than Juju Smith-Schuster. Shout out to
Hmm.
him. But there's that receiving core. There's no one there. In my mind, Ramondre Stevenson's the best person on that squad, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
that's sad to say. He would probably be like what an 84 overall in Madden. Uh, just
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
announced that fucking Ezekiel Elliott was gonna like be have a lot of carries this game. Like, oh, he knows so much about the
oh
Cowboys.
yeah,
This
this
is
was a
gonna help.
revenge game, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is gonna help the Patriots. He knows all the plays. And nope, it got fucked up. I don't
Oh
think I
yeah.
saw Elliott at all. So
No. I'll try and pull maybe his stats while I talk about the other game. Niners, or excuse me, Cardinals, Niners, 35-16 victory for the Niners. Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. He had 4 touchdowns on the day. Cardinals still looking, but the Cardinals were still looking good despite this loss. I know, like I said, this is just a powerhouse in the Niners, scoring at least 30 points once again. Uh, and just but the Cardinals overall, like they weren't supposed to really do anything. Like they were definitely weren't supposed to score 16. They probably weren't supposed to score any points at all. But here you
no,
are. They believe. Any thoughts on the Niners and Cardinals?
McCaffrey scored that last touchdown. He would have had all of their points.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I would have loved that.
They had 5 touchdowns, and that would have been insane. They should have just gave it to him for the
They should have. I
fucking.
know you give Kyle Juszczyk a little love, give him an opportunity, but give him 5. Like what? Give him a special day. I hope I'm not being like a selfish fantasy owner, but come on, give him the 5th. That would have been nice. That would have been cool. It would have been nice for everyone's graphic on Twitter, like him just doing a flex and it just says like 5 on underneath. And
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just me, my brain. Going back to that Cowboys Patriots game. Zeke 6 carries for 16 yards,
oh
two
no.
receptions for 6 yards on 3 carries. So a grand
Oh
total of
no.
22 scrimmage yards for Ezekiel Elliott against his former team. Looks like the Cowboys were right. Chiefs Jets on Sunday night, and they were going head to head with our Wrestle Dream matchups. So had it on the lower TV, so kind of on the end, kind of on the outside. This is the slide that killed fantasy and gamblers by Patrick Mahomes. Right at the end of the game, he scores that touchdown. They cover the spread, which was for a lot of people probably was closed right around 9 or 9.5. So that's a tough one. And then overall, it would have been really good because he had a really rough fantasy game. He had a really rough day overall, a couple interceptions. So a rushing touchdown would have been nice, but he slides because that QB instinct, that IQ is just so great. Collinsworth was just, oh my God, it's so
Oh.
fake. Patrick Mahomes, oh my God, he slid. So it screws over everybody, but everybody else enjoyed it. Zach Wilson, on the other hand, didn't look like complete cheeks. So that was uh for Jets fans, are you like upset now that you got to give him another week or so because he actually looked pretty decent? Maybe some are also arguing ref ball because God forbid the Chiefs are not going to lose if Taylor Swift is in the building. I'm calling conspiracy. I'm gonna say the conspiracy is real on that one for sure. Uh,
Oh, the NFL is gonna ride this coattail so they can. They made her like their cover photo on social media. They put them as the bio, like the Swifties are now 2-0, and like
That's
they
their
are.
that's their Instagram bio. That's the
Yeah.
NFL's official Instagram bio. Tell me that conspiracy isn't real. Come on. Come on. Come
Oh, I
on.
bet that they've got it said that the Chiefs and Jets game was the most watched football game since the Super Bowl. It said
What?
because of the female viewership, it was up 44%
That's
because of
crazy.
females watching the
I mean,
Chiefs
we
games.
already saw last week. I talked about Travis Kelsey's jersey sales up 400%, and then also I didn't even think about it. Taylor Swift earlier in the season, Taylor Swift being from Philadelphia, DeAndre Swift going to Philadelphia, the Swift Philadelphia jersey was flying off the rack there too as well. So, man, DeAndre Swift, Travis Kelce getting paid. That was the T Swift parlay. But now Jonathan Taylor's coming back to practice, so now you can get a T Taylor Swift touchdown parlay eventually. Everyone's going crazy. What was the one you had? 22? Travis Kelce had to get a 22-yard reception.
DraftKings had a boost. I don't know about you, but he needed 22 yards.
Oh my God. I mean, it writes itself. So yeah, 23-20 ball game. Chiefs offense, I mean, ran into a powerhouse in the, I keep saying powerhouse, but ran into a tough Jets defense. Mahomes didn't look good. You can say ref ball. And then yeah, just more Taylor Swift to come. I like I said, I believe the conspiracy is real. Finally, Monday night was just Monday night was rough. Monday night was weird. Monday night sucked. Seahawks Giants 24-3 ball game win for the Seahawks. Seahawks defense just annihilated Daniel Jones. 10 of the 11 sacks were Daniel Jones. They even got one on Tyrod Taylor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Giants were just absolutely pitiful. Again, similar to that, the Patriots are like, who are the stars? Who could Daniel Jones throw to? Darren Waller, I suppose, but he's getting doubled. Still, he needs to do something. They need to do better. Saquon Barkley needs to come back. He is 95% of that offense, if not all 100%. So I can sit here and be like, oh, the Bears are awful. The Giants are fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
Fun one. How long have the Giants been in the lead this year? Do you know how long the time frame, how many minutes or so the Giants have been in the lead for?
A minute, maybe.
I kind of misled you because I didn't want to treat you right. I didn't want to trick you or get you. 23 seconds. They've only been in the lead 23 seconds.
That's
Only
good.
3 points at home between the Giants and the Cowboys, absolute dogging, and then last night's Monday night game. They've only been in the lead 23 seconds on that Cardinals comeback when they came back against the Cardinals about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's awful. They've outscored at home by like 63 points already.
Oh my.
Like absolutely just god awful.
That's horrible.
So please, NFL, flex any more Giants games that are on prime time. They are dog shit. And it was also fun just to see the head coach of the Giants and Daniel Jones going at it. $40 million for that.
That's what your coach of the year. Everybody.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man, it's fun dogging on the Giants. That was the recap from the week. That was every single ball game, every single score.
Wow.
Any final thoughts just on week 4?
No, not really. It was another good week of football, though.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Nothing. When I was sitting there like looking ahead, looking at betting odds and stuff like that, I'm like, damn. Other than a handful, like nothing really like must watch. But as always, it always comes in. It always comes in clutch. Always something to entertain and to say, wow. It was looking like a bunch of get right games for some teams, and sure enough, they ended up shitting the bed and now ended up winning. So there you go. That's the NFL. It's always crazy and always wild. That's why we love it. That's why we tune in every single week. If you're good on that, we can talk about some fantasy. We talk about our personal league, and then we can hit on the rest of it. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Coolio. Alrighty, our Des Nuts Fantasy Football League, talking about basically our league, talking about anybody, maybe just maybe possibly in your league as well. So not the worst thing to stick around and indulge with us on our own league. So we can take a gander at this past week's matchups, get some quick recap on these ball games, and then look ahead on some preview. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you want to take the go first? Because this was a big one. This is a big one for you. So it was a big week for the Mikey guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, as you all can see, I'm not depressed this episode, so that means I won in fantasy this week.
Let's go. Big win.
Come on. I get my first win of the year. Sadly, I'm sorry, Ivan. One of us had to be 0-4, but my team, I'll give you this. No one else would have beaten me this week. I had scored the most out of everyone this week. So, if that, at least you can have that. You wouldn't have,
There is that silver lining.
Yeah, no one would have beat me. So, I mean, let's just have to say, I'll leave them for last, but Kamara, 21 points with those 13 receptions that he got, and then the yards on top of it. I love it. He got 13 bullshit points basically. So I'll take that, baby. That's more than Najee Harris had total. Ford, 9 points. Not the best game, but decent for the rookie quarterback being in and them not really doing shit against the Ravens.
Being down that whole game too, it's not like they were gonna run.
Yeah, he was projected 10, so, 1 point less than his projection. I'll take it. DK had a touchdown, 12 points. Love that. George Kittle, he's either gonna have a good week or he's gonna be really bad. So he gets 1 point this week. Jacoby Myers, I put him in this week, picked him up. Not much for him because, again, rookie quarterback was in. He only got 5. I put Najee in last second. He ended up getting 11. So, I wasn't too upset. And my kicker, Jake Elliott, baby, he has scored me from these past 4 weeks, 17.5, 12, and then this week 18.5 for my kicker Elliott. He's literally doing better than Najee Harris, which is like.
Can I stop you right there? I got some names for you on Jake Elliott. I did this last night because I was enthralled. I was looking at kickers. Of course, Jake Elliott is number 1 in our league. We don't really do anything too crazy, only basing the points based on yardage, and a lot of other leagues do that. But here are some names. And currently, like you said, Jake Elliott is averaging 15 points in our league. Here are some names that are currently averaging more points than Travis Etienne Jr., Deebo Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, James Conner, Jalen Waddle, I'm not done, Terry McLaurin, Najee Harris, George Kittle, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, so the entire Bengals quadrant, Aaron Jones, Christian Kirk, Travis Kelce, and Chris Olave. He is within 1 point of averaging the same amount as Derrick Henry, Trevor Lawrence, DK Metcalf, and CD Lamb. Can you tell your fucking kicker to relax, dude? That is what I want to say. Can you tell your kicker to relax?
That is insane when you put it in that perspective. That's so wild.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at last night, and I was just sitting there pissed off. Because your kicker's doing better than 3/4 of my fucking team.
I should not be getting this many points from a kicker.
Kicker is projected or doing better than most quarterbacks. You know that, right? Like that seems to be the trend right now. I mean, I can't say most, but he's doing better than a lot of star names. Like I said, with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow being on there, it's just a couple that I looked at. Come on. I mean,
crazy.
I was only looking at who are people rostered. So I'm sure there's a couple other names, some bigger names from our league that he's doing better than. But I mean, I rattled off like 20 names. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the big one that sticks out is Jamar Chase. I mean, he literally gets picked 1 overall, 2nd overall.
Going 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4.
So the fact that kicker I got in like the very last round that's the NFL.
I can't say you can't say it's sustainable, but right now that is just a fun little stat to look at and be like, wow, that's fucking crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's been 4 weeks. So
yeah, that's a big sample size. That's a good sample size to still be like, holy shit, like he's still averaging that much. Like,
yeah, if it was just 1 or 2 games, it's like okay, but 4 weeks straight of getting double-digit points and like that, that's,
like there's an outlier.
Impressive.
Like Matt Gay had 24 in week 3. Like he's not gonna have. He hasn't been averaging that many either. Like he's not very much higher. But yeah, again, crazy. That's just something I did last night while I was looking at people's rosters and shit like that.
That's fun. I love to hear that. Yeah, I'll just finish this off real fast, but I have the Bills defense and they've been great this year. I feel like they're right behind the Cowboys of being one of and the 49ers, I guess. They're like the top three defenses this year. I mean, getting me 7 points against the Jets week 1, but then 12, 36, and then 11 against the Dolphins. And then just looking at their upcoming schedule, they've got Jacksonville and then the Giants and then New England. Oh my God. I love seeing that green on the app.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice to see. And then my bench, man. I mean, everyone on my bench got double-digit points. Damian Pierce, 11. Brian Robinson Jr. gets 12. Marquise Brown has actually been pretty decent this year on the Cardinals. He gets me 16 points this week. He's ranked the 17th receiver this year. He's gone 17, 17, 16 the past 3 weeks. So Dobbs is actually finding Hollywood Brown. So I like to see that, considering I drafted him. And Hopkins and London both get double digits as well. So again, it's just I love this for my team because I've been down in the dumps these past couple of weeks, but to finally see literally everyone on my team perform basically, except for Kittle, really, it's just nice. It's nice to see that, man. It was a very good week, and I will say, Ivan, Kyron Williams, very good game, and fucking AJ Brown, 41 points, like that's just insane. But Amari Cooper had pretty low score, and Joe Burrow and Mixon, not too many points. So when those main players like that are getting not too many points, it's gonna affect you right there. And again, I just had a very good week, so it's just tough. It's tough for you, Ivan, but I love it.
Oh yeah. When you get 84 points between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, you're gonna have a phenomenal day.
I forgot I was saving them for last, but yeah, I didn't. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs fucking cooking it up.
Had a game. Stephon Diggs, he did.
3
That is a hook
for Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen also runs it in for 1. And it's just, oh my God, man. Josh Allen 45, Stephon Diggs 38. That's why I draft him. And again, I love the Bills, so I love to see it, man.
He loves to cook up the Dolphins. He loves having just beating up on those Dolphins. Yeah, that was a tough go. Like you said, to be in the top score, it's a tough ask. You can't really beat that, obviously. But yeah, just some more struggles. Jamar Chase saying he was open. He still had 14. Kyron Williams 27 for Ivan. And yeah, that was big. Oh yeah, and then of course, like you said, AJ Brown 41. That was a dog of a game. And I'll be looking forward into mine, so I can kind of say this one now between in my other league, in my brother's league, he played against Josh Allen, he played up against Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, and the Cowboys defense, which all four in that standard league, I think, scored over 40 points. So for my brother and myself in that league, no chance. I think Greg's team scored like 3rd or 4th. And again, our opponent scored 180 in a standard league.
Oh,
bonkos.
Oh,
were you good on your ball game between you and Ivan?
Yeah, I've been talking about it for a minute there. So
no, you're good. Like I said, I threw in that Jake Elliott stat, so we got to
that
talk
was
some kicker.
Fun.
Got to talk some kicker action.
That's so fun.
Hopefully, people are enthralled with that.
I am. Yeah, I'm going to tell that to everyone I know.
There you go. I got a big one for you: 175.3 to 128.3 on that ball game. Flipping on over to mine between myself and Sebastian. Got an important one going 4-0 right now against Sebastian, who was the highest scorer, and I think I just took that reins after outscoring him this week. But it was all Christian McCaffrey, almost 50 points from Christian McCaffrey, 4 score, and Christian McCaffrey's yardage ago. He just absolutely dominated. Mark Andrews, like I mentioned during the previews from earlier, had a nice game, scored a touchdown, 25 points. Also off of let's get a quick gander, of course, because nothing wants to load. 5 receptions, 80 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. I know it was 2 receptions, but 2 touchdowns. But love it. Love when the tight ends actually show up, because that's a really tough position to go. And then afterward, I had already had a beat by by the night game. So everything else after that was kind of just cake with Lockett and Walker. Either way, still had to sweat it out. I didn't think it was all out of the weeds because Josh Jacobs had a nice game. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen had hooked up for a touchdown together, and Bijan Robinson in the London game had absolutely torn it up. So there was an instance where I was like, fuck, Josh Jacobs is still scoring. It's not over with. Then I kind of flipped it over and I looked onto my fantasy lineup. I'm like, well, I still got 3-4 people to go. Unless everybody just goes crazy, it just was out of the way. So yeah, it was just nice that Tyreek Hill didn't have a Tyreek Hill game. So just very thankful for that. And also, yeah, unfortunate that Javonte Williams goes down for Sebastian while he's in his lineup. So, and again, another kicker, Tyler Bass is going off for 14. Fucking relax, you kickers. Yeah, overall pretty solid. Maybe could have flipped. Both him and I could have flipped around a couple people, but mostly would have been a wash. He had Devon Achane go off for 28. I had Isaiah Pacheco at 26 on the bench, and I also had Garrett Wilson at 15, and Gabe Davis had 15 for him. So if we wanted to flip those two out, it literally would have been a wash. It would have been basically a 2-point in favor of Sebastian, but still won by like 30. Either way, good win, important win, just more wins. That's all I want is to win. Just keep on winning and always win all the time. So can't ask any more than that. If you're good on my ball game, we can focus on another one. What any thoughts on mine and Sebastian's?
McCaffrey is a beast, man.
Yeah, fucking love it. Love every second of it.
Absolute beast.
Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. Thank you very much. And then I also thought I was cooked for not starting Debo. I was kicking myself, and then he ends up only having 6 yards. They didn't need him. They really didn't need him. He was already banged up, so no need to give him the ball and get him any more banged up than he already was. So good for them. Niners are just going to cook basically all season long. If they're good on that, we can talk about AJ and Pete, or did you want to talk about Allen and Dom?
Let's see. I see AJ and Pete. AJ and Pete. AJ wins it 144 to Pete's 89.
Ooh.
Oh no.
That's a tough one. Yeah, a lot of single digit scores. Not a lot of people were. Yeah.
Pete only had 2 people in his lineup that had double digits, and Hurts and Sutton. Everything else, defense, kicker, and all his other players had single digit points. Not good.
Yeah,
AJ's
disappointing
team,
for sure.
on the other hand, Lamar Jackson 30, Henry 27, Swifty 17. Which I was calling him that before Taylor Swift started dating Kelsey. I would be like, "Come on, Swifty."
So, oh yeah.
Devontae Adams still a decent game. Devontae Smith cooking, Chris Godwin cooking it up, and Laporta doing decent. And like his defense got -2.
I mean, 9 points for a tight end he'll probably end up finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean he looks decent, and he's
Yeah.
a tight end number 2 right now. So Dolphins -2 doesn't affect him. He wins this game easily, and there's not much Pete could have done otherwise. So.
Yeah, no, not really much at all. Like I said, you could flip McLaurin in there for an extra 22 points, but that wouldn't have done anything else much for it. Yeah, just yeah, that's a tough one. Going in, you just want more out of Waddle, want more out of Pittman and company, but yeah, you kind of just. I don't know. I'm always in that line of like I'm glad I didn't lose by a ton by like 0.2. I'd rather just get blown the fuck out.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those times. But you do also want your team to show up, so that's
of course.
That's also disappointing. So a 144 to 89 victory for AJ. He goes up to number 2 and 3 at 3-1. So 3 straight victories for AJ. After starting out 0-1. If you're good on that ball game, we can finish it up with Allen and Dom. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds great to me.
All right, cool. Allen with the victory over Dom, 168 to 96. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes had a rough one. So did Aaron Jones for Dom's side of things. But of course, Justin Jefferson showing up with 26.5. hey, that's gonna happen. Tough one, of course. Both Mike Evans goes down, but on the flip side, on Allen's side, T. Higgins also goes down. So a little bit we have to be paying attention to that. I think T. Higgins and both basically said that they're not going to be expecting to miss any time. This would have been the battle of the defenses. You got Niners versus Cowboys, but the Cowboys had the bigger one, of course, 29 points compared to the Niners 2. Allen could have piled it on and threw in Justin Fields, but Jordan Love was just enough because David Montgomery had 35. He had a nice little head start at come Thursday night. And then Puka Nacua picking up where Chris Olave left off or lingered in. So this is a big one. Important all around. Like I said, I shout out a couple names. CeeDee Lamb also doing just about enough. He had 14, but yeah, looking around, not much else that could have been done. Nico Collins could have brought you an extra 40. But like I said, a couple more points from Fields start could have also negated it too. So the tough one after 3-1 to 1-3 right now in the terms of the standings. That was an interesting one. Any thoughts in this ball game?
It's a pretty big blowout. Allen's team cooks the Cowboys defense more. Nacua, Montgomery all getting 25 plus points. I mean, just nasty, man.
Nasty. Yeah.
Not many close games this week.
No. These I was looking at it last night. Yeah, the Monday night game wasn't gonna do anything. A lot of these games were kind of wrapped up even before the Sunday night game, for that matter. So, yeah, it's just a decent little week, and we're gonna be looking forward to week 5. Is there anything? Yeah, before we look into week 5, let me just quickly look into any big spending or anything crazy that went on during our recent ad drops. Devon A. Chan went for $50. At $3 more than I had dropped in. I wish I just wasn't as
What, you
cheap as
did
I was.
47?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like right around there. I was close. And then that actually was one of our first instances where Pete and Sebastian both put in the same amount, but because of the waiver wire, Sebastian ended up getting Devon Achan. So
I didn't
that was
see
pretty
that.
cool. Just interesting to see how this has been panning out and how this is working. And then also $76 for Tank Dell, and Tank Dell has an unfortunate. I think he only caught one pass. Yeah, one pass for
Oh
16
no.
yards after that. So yikers.
Oh
uh,
my.
if we're good on that, we can look forward into week 5. We want me to take the ring. I can preview my matchup
Yeah.
with Ivan really quick. All right, yeah, let me go ahead and do that then. Uh, yeah, let's see. Another London game possibly going on for the Jags. Well, not possibly, it is happening, but Trevor Lawrence and Etienne set to go for another London game. I got McCaffrey and Debo set for Sunday night. Looking for a little bit of help out of Amon St. Brown, like usual. It's the usual suspects, and of course, Mark Andrews. But going up against Pittsburgh, tough matchup right there. Don't have a kicker just yet. We're flipping that out. And then we're going to need some help in the flex spots, Isaiah Pacheco and Garrett Wilson, because I have a bunch of people on a bye this week. I already looked ahead week 5, and then whoever my week 9 opponent is, raise your hand now. You might be getting an easier matchup. I won't say you're getting a complete dub out of me, but you get an easier matchup because I have a bunch of people out those 2 weeks. So yeah, just looking for some help. On the flip side, Ivan's done with Joe Burrow. It looks like right now he flipped in Tua Tagovailoa,
Mhm.
uh, Kyron Williams. He's been a very solid start. I mean, yeah, just besides a handful of players, he's been the waiver wire move of the year so far. AJ Brown also looking to double down, maybe get a back-to-back big week from him. Jamar Chase always that's a dynamic wide receiver 1-2 right there for Ivan guy. But then he's still got a couple people to flip around, i.e. just the kicker in his defense. So we'll see. He'll be projected higher than me. But projection sure schmection. Well, let's just I'm looking for my 5th win, and I'm looking to give Ivan his 5th loss. That's going to be the mantra. That's going to be the mindset. So, anything on my game, my matchup between myself and Ivan?
It's the 0-4 against the 4-0. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
The streaks continue, or will Ivan throw a wrench into the last undefeated person in you?
I break you.
What?
I break you. No. Yeah, no, we're looking to keep we're looking to keep these streaks going. We turn 5-0 and then make him 0-5. Let's keep these streaks going.
Oh.
Get a little bit of Undertaker action going. Did you want to go ahead and afterwards you can go preview yourself and Sebastian?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Me and Sebastian this week. Sebastian's got Herbert and Keenan Allen out on bye week. This should be a good one. The projections are a little off because of what I just mentioned, but I still have to go another week without Eckler because as this the Chargers bye week. Hopefully he'll be all healthy and ready to go by next week. I've been waiting anxiously for
The
him.
report was last week that he couldn't make cuts, but he could run full speed straight ahead. So take that for what you will. That's hopeful.
That's something. I'll take it.
Them labeling, it wasn't just him. They also labeled Saquon doubtful. I hate that because you just know they're not going to play. It is literally 99 times out of 100 they do not play that ball game. I don't know.
When has someone played when they are doubtful?
Maybe LaDainian Tomlinson 10 years ago. That could be probably the only name that pops up. But sorry, I'm getting away from this as I usually do.
Oh, you're fine. Should be a decent one when he puts in the people, whoever he picks up or he's gonna start. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Hopefully they can cook it up for me again. Got Kamara and Brian Robinson going right now. Got Jacoby Myers in as my with DK Metcalf on his bye. I've got Jacoby Myers in right now and the wide receiver too. Maybe switch him out for Hopkins or Brown, who are also in my lineup, but we'll see what happens. Sebastian's got a decent team. He's got Bijan and Josh Jacobs and Tyreek and Calvin Ridley, so nothing to sneeze at. And he's got Devon A-Chain, who's been cooking it up. So I'm sure I'll see him in his lineup this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not going out on a limb. It's not me being risky, but Bijan versus the Houston Texans this week. Man, if I'm Sebastian, I'd be licking my chops and my Bijan. I'm ready to go for that ball game. I'm looking at your matchup. Yeah, the London matchup, you got to go with those guys, obviously. And then I'm also, call me crazy. I mean, you got him in there for a reason. I like Hopkins against the Colts this week. I don't know. I got a good feeling in my bad ankle that he's gonna do something crazy.
He still needs his first touchdown on the tight ends.
There you go. That he is due. He is due. Just don't blame me if he puts up a goose egg. Either way, I'm liking your guys' matchup. It's gonna be fun, and like I said, very interesting to see what the decisions are. It'll already go through by the time I upload this video. So I mean, we don't need to sit here and waste predictions, but yeah, it's gonna be a nice little matchup.
Yeah.
Did we want to talk Allen and Stinky Pete next, or did we want to talk Dom and AJ next?
You can, whichever one you want to hit it.
I'll take Allen and Pete right now because both look like they got a full lineup as it is right now. We got I'll rail it off on Allen's side of things as of right now. We got Jordan Love at the starting position. He's going up against the Raiders on Monday night. David Montgomery set to go against the Panthers. Tony Pollard, I mean, he's got to go with him. That was his first round. That was his second round pick. Chris Olave, I think he's going to be nice little bounce back, even though rough one last week. I know Derek Carr had a really shit game, and that's going to affect Chris Olave. I mean, Puka Nacua, Even if it is the Eagles, you got to play him. Kelsey, Moore, Higgins. Watch out for Higgins. Obviously, he's going to be on the report whether he's practicing or not. Those ribs are going to be banged up. And then Young Wei Koo, solid. You're kicking in a dome. That's the best. And then of course, Cowboys defense. You got to play them. They're the number one defense. On to Pete's side of things, you got Jalen Hurts, you got Raheem Mostert, you got James Conner. You're looking for a bounce back from Michael Pittman Jr. and even Jalen Waddle for that matter, and really Darren Waller as well. You can look at all these bounce back games like we just mentioned last week. A lot of single digit for these guys. But Terry McLaurin, call me crazy, and I think it's not that hard. Going up against Chicago Thursday night, probably one of your best matchups on the weekend. So there you go. Tank Dell also in there as well as Jake Moody, and the Eagles defense set to go for Pete. Like I said, I think for Pete's side of things, Terry McLaurin up against the Bears. And I'm gonna go with on the outside, let's go with Chris Olave for a bounce back, even though it's New England, it's a tough defense. I think he's gonna have to do something and definitely just be open for Derek Carr. So that's gonna be my prediction on who's gonna stand out between those two. So any thoughts on Allen and Stinky Pete's matchup?
It should be a fight. I mean, again, we've got great teams here. Jordan Love, I love seeing him in Allen's lineup. I'm sure he'll stay there.
Let's see what the experts say this week.
Yeah, Montgomery, Pollard, Nakua, been so good. Kelsey, an absolute beast. When Taylor Swift will be at that game too, I bet. So there you go, Alan.
Got nothing in my brain.
Nothing
in my
brain.
And I got
there's nothing in my brain.
Nothing in my brain.
There's nothing in my brain. There's nothing in my brain.
Oh fuck!
Should be a fight.
That's a fight.
Maybe people make some changes. Maybe Tank Dell stay in the lineup. We'll see, but should be a good matchup here between Pete and A, man.
Absolutely. Finally, we're looking at Dom and AJ. You want to take this one?
Yeah,
go for it.
All right. Okay, so they've got some people in on bye. That's okay.
Yeah, both look like they're both Bucks, and he's got Ivans and he's got Godwin both out right now.
Mm-hmm. Dom versus AJ here. Dom's Patrick Mahomes versus AJ's Lamar Jackson. Dom's got Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders. He's got CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. Disgusting. TJ Hawkinson. I mean, Michael Thomas, he's been decent, but he's going to need to replace Mike Evans with someone on his bench, which he has a plethora of options. He has Christian Kirk, Nico Collins. He can put in Khalil Herbert, whatever Dom is feeling against AJ. And AJ's got Derrick Henry and Swifty and Adams and Smith and Laporta, who's projected 10 points. Wow. And Chris Godwin on bye for AJ, just like Mike Evans is for Dom. He'll need to replace him with someone on his bench. Maybe Alexander Madison, maybe Cookie, maybe Barkley if he's good to go.
Barkley could come back. That wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibilities.
So you got options here for these guys, and this will be a nice game. Dom's 1-3, AJ's 3-1. Maybe Dom can get a win here and get a better record, or AJ can keep the winning streak going.
Yeah, I think it's just in his nature. I don't want to double down and take both Titans to be like the guys of the week. I know I took Hopkins for you. I think Derrick Henry is also going to have a nice game against the Colts. Just running around. He usually just beats up the people within the division. On Dom's side of things, let's take a quick look. Oh man, San Francisco and Dallas are playing each other. The defensive matchup for sure. But how about just a layup, a safe one? Patrick Mahomes gonna bounce back, not have 12 points. He's gonna beat up. I think he's just gonna absolutely just demolish the Minnesota Vikings. They're in a dome. It's going to be a track meet, so have a piece of that game, whether that's obviously Justin Jefferson or just you can even. I think it might be even safe to say in a 12-man league, you could probably play Kadarius Toney or something like that if he's all healthy and ready to go. Yeah, I think that's all good. That's all fine and dandy right there. All of these looking for fights, all of us looking for close ball games. That's going to be the mantra. That's going to be the goal. Any final thoughts lingering, wrapping up on week 5 for fantasy football in our Des Nuts League? Anything lingering on the mind?
No, not really. I'm happy to get my first win this week, and good luck to or last week, but hopefully I can get another one, and good luck to everybody.
There we go. Yes. Good luck to everybody. And as always, week 5 has begun. Those bye weeks have started. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're looking ahead. And also, I think we already we talked about this way in the beginning of the preseason. A ton of those international games still to come. So it's not just, this week, last week. There's a couple more sprinkled in. They got that Frankfurt game. They got 2 games in Germany. They got another game in like Australia or something like that. So keep on the lookout. Keep on the lookout. So if we're good on that, we can go ahead, plow through some quick MLB and NBA, and then finish off with the Wrestle Dream thoughts, results, recap, and everything from there. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's take a quick gander. It's going on about 10 Central here, so I don't know what games are finishing up, wrapping up in the MLB. Well, 3 out of the 4 ones are already done. 2 of the dogs have actually won, which is good for me. I needed 3 out of the 4, but it is what it is. Philly's currently up 4-1, top 9. So let's look. It's pending some sort of a comeback with about 2 outs left for the Marlins, looking like the Phillies are going to wrap up game 1. The Rangers took game 1 4-0 over the Rays. Twins won 3-1 at home, and the Diamondbacks took a road victory coming back. They were down 3-0, tied at 3-3, and looks like they won 6-3 in that ball game. Pretty solid pitching matchup between obviously Corbin Burns and you could probably Peralta's in there as well. I'm definitely blanking on somebody else that's going to be in that Brewers lineup, but Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks in that first 2. That's awesome. That's why I ended up taking the Diamondbacks to sneak that series. I had a parlay. I was looking at odds earlier. It's kind of all for naught that the series is that now that the games have already started, but I took a parlay. It was the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, the Blue Jays, and the Phillies all to win their first rounds, their matchups, all parlayed. I think whatever I threw down, like $5 is going to get me right around, it would be like 70 to like 80 to $100. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Rangers were plus 140. That was probably one of the better ones to take individually. Also, I would also looked at the Diamondbacks at plus 130. Philly's a little bit of a juice bag, minus 195. So that was the whole idea of putting it in a parlay. And it was almost a pick 'em between the Twins and the Blue Jays. I was relying on the Blue Jays because it was up until today, 18 straight playoff losses for the Minnesota Twins. So yeah, tough one indeed. I know kind of rattled through that one pretty quick, but you got the standings and the bracket set up for how this is going to shape up. Any predictions, any thoughts on maybe just if you want to go maybe round by round on the quicks, or just off the top of the dome, your initial thoughts, who's going to win this whole thing? Cool.
Win the whole thing.
And obviously getting these buys could be very important, but it also could be the mental game of, haven't been in the groove of things. It could be almost of a week of not playing a ball game. So the rest is good, but also getting out of not swinging a bat as much, not pitching as much can throw you off.
I like Phillies.
Yeah.
I
Similar
like
to last
Phillies.
year. Yeah, similar to last year. They kind of red hot around the same time. And yeah, I really like them this round against the Marlins. It was tough go, tough ask. But for sure, yeah, with the Marlins as it is, not looking like they're going to be pushing through. I'm just glad it's not the Cubs. And shout out to them. You know what? Yeah, I'll get a little bit. I talked about it on Friday too. Boy, oh boy, how y'all just choked it all away. Seiya Suzuki, I can't see the ball, and boom, there go the playoffs. Gone, just like that. And man, I would have played nice. I would have played nice, but there were a ton of people that are gonna go nameless. But yeah, y'all just kept chirping, You weren't focused on what you should have been, and bang, you guys deserve this. Whether it was the fans or just the team itself, whether it was them getting too hot too early, not making enough moves at the deadline, they didn't do anything. I guess their biggest move was not trading Cody Bellinger. Congratulations. You're not going to resign him in the offseason. You're not getting Ohtani. You have a shit bullpen. You should have got You should have got rid of Marcus Stroman when you could. Fuck the Cubs. You guys suck, dude. You might be in a better chance than the White Sox, but I'm not fucking delusional over here. I know our team fucking sucks. I know the White Sox are off and are gonna be for the time being. Y'all Cubs fans were delusional as fuck, didn't want to admit to yourselves that didn't do enough, weren't gonna make the playoffs, didn't think that there were fucking teams head and shoulders better than you this entire fucking year. Unreal. Open up your eyes. Your team's dog shit. Don't give a fuck. You can sit there clamor about, oh, but PCA's coming up when we got the best minor league system. You ain't doing nothing now. You ain't gonna be doing nothing then. What are you gonna be lying like Kyle Hendricks? Kyle Hendricks and Justin Steele. That's not gonna be enough, my friend. Justin Steele, yes, he's gonna be a Cy Young candidate for the time being. Kyle Hendricks is on his way out. Marcus Stroman's fucking done, and I can't name anybody else besides that. You taxed your bullpen. Fucking Ross is dog shit. What an over managing constantly. Keep PCA in the game if he's gonna be this diamond, this stud that everybody that talks about for the time being, prodigy out in center field. You leave him in the game. He takes him out of every important at bat for Yan Gomes. You're gonna put in Yan Gomes for these important at bats. Wow. So yeah, I know you're probably looking at the stats, Rossi, and you think that's going to be the move, but yeah, that's going to be a big, bad thing. And so I'm glad that all these Cub fans can just sit there and fucking cry and just really just wallow in the fact that maybe you danced and ran around your White Sox friends, but hey, you guys are in the same fucking place as us White Sox fans on the couch in October. Have fun in Cancun, Cubos. See ya. Wouldn't want to fucking be ya. Bang. Oh, that felt good. That felt really nice. So you guys blew it. The Cubs blew it. And honestly, even if they did get in here, they get fucking embarrassed. They would have no chance. If they played against the Brewers, that would be their only shot of advancing, but wouldn't do anything against the Phillies. And if they advance, they get embarrassed by Atlanta like they did last week, and they get fucking pantsed by the Dodgers. So, okay, that's it. I'm done on the Cubs. Didn't want to do that. Yeah, overall, in my mind, it kind of I'll be chalky. It might just belong to the Braves again. But if I'm going to be crazy, Rangers. Watch out for the Rangers. That's all I got to say. I like the Orioles. For the Orioles, for the sake of just, they've been awful forever. Not forever, but at least since like the mid 2010s, and just now went from like 60 wins 2 years ago to 100 wins this year. Crazy. So hopefully the White Sox can do something like that in 2 years, but probably not gonna fucking happen. Either way, that would be who I'm rooting for on the AL side, is the Orioles and the Rangers, and the Braves on the NL side. Any other final thoughts, concerns just on the playoffs? I had one quick little stat just on the playoffs in general before we move on. Anything else?
No, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. First time in our lifetime, Mike. First time in actually 30 years that the Yankees, the Red Sox, or the Cardinals are not in the playoffs. So for the past 30 seasons, at least one of them has been in the playoffs up until now. So I just thought that was pretty interesting, pretty crazy. I mean, Yankees and the Red. These are the main. These are pretty big mainstays, and of course the pretty huge success of these past few years. So I just thought it was interesting that neither one of these three teams in the playoffs this year. So
It just goes to show how dominant they've been though this past. Like that's wild.
yeah, that's a team you want to back up for sure. And then I mean that AL East is tough, so it's no real like I mean, as much as I want to dunk on the Yankees because just there are annoying Yankee and New York fans over all over the place, but yeah, there's just a really tough division to be in. I mean, yeah, two wild card spots belong to the AL East, and obviously the winner, the Orioles. So that just goes to show you how dominant it was. Either way, that was the MLB side of things. We can quickly look at the NBA news that was going on this week. I know literally the day I edited the day I posted our last week's video, titled, it's even still in the title. I left it in there because a mixture of I'm lazy and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just kind of make a joke out of it. We wondered, Lillard coming to the Bulls? Sure enough, no. Lillard to the Bucks, literally 24 hours after we talk about it. Let's get it just a recap of the details of it. Damian Lillard, along with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Trailblazers, swapping 2028 and 2030 first round picks. Damian Lillard is going to the Bucks. Let's see. In exchange, Portland Trailblazers received Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and Toumani Camara. Up until then, Drew Holiday had not been traded to the Boston Celtics. That has already fell through, or not fell through, but that has transpired. So Drew Holiday to the Celtics already. I completely forgot to write that or get the notes on that, but either way. And then the Suns received Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nazir Little, and Keon Johnson. So overall, when I was looking through the trade, I don't know. I don't think anyone got the short end of the stick. I mean, all three of these teams are in different realms. Obviously, the Bucks and the Suns are going to be contending. The Blazers are going to be looking to rebuild and get better. Just drafted Scoot Henderson. It would have been better if they kept Drew Holiday, but maybe it was something that they got better from the Boston Celtics in that exchange. But them being able to keep DeAndre Ayton was button heads in the Suns organization. He probably wasn't going to get paid with Bradley Beal coming in, Kevin Durant still there, and Devin Booker all there. One of them was going to be on their way out, and sure enough, it was DeAndre Ayton. And then the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, them getting, or excuse me, I just got rid of the article, of course, but Bill is being able to build upon the Suns getting a good solid bulk of their bench, getting Grayson Allen and Yusuf Nurkic, who again, not crazy numbers, but Grayson Allen's a bit of a dick. You want him on your team as opposed to not having him on your team. He's going to be the shit starter. He's going to stir the pot. So again, that's good for the Suns bench, who didn't have any depth literally up until this trade. And then Yusuf Nurkic is going to be a decent double-double and a solid defense guy right there. My colors just changed as I'm doing this, but
Whoa,
that's okay. I'll worry about that a little bit later. Either way, any thoughts? I mean, like I said, did anyone get cooked?
no. There wasn't. I didn't really look at the trade and think a certain team got cooked, but just a great trade for the Bucks getting Damian Lillard and the Suns get a decent player in Nurkic still for their center, and then the Trailblazers get Ayton. So everybody gets something that can help in their own respective way. But Bucks, I mean, they are going to be so nasty. They're just going to be so nasty.
Yeah, that Skip Bayless, the whole thing about them because he traded Drew Holiday, they're gonna get worse. Bonkos. I think it was you that said like Damian Lillard is probably the best 3-point shooter that isn't named Steph Curry, and I would probably agree with that for sure. Either way, I mean, yes, the Bucks, if they were already for certain probably the best in the East, everyone could sit here and try and argue the Boston Celtics, but Nah, the Bucks definitely are going to be the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say the Celtics kind of just even with acquiring Drew Holiday a little bit better, but up until then, even just getting Porzingis earlier in the year, they kind of stayed the same, getting plateaued. They didn't get any better or worse with that move. So only time will tell. We'll see as the season begins. But yeah, definitely a big move for the Bucks. And it sounds like Damian Lillard is absolutely happy. Doesn't sound like Jimmy Butler is very happy from
Hmm.
from what it sounds like. He said he's told the league to look into it. Oh my goodness, what a picture. He told the league to look into it, maybe tampering. And I brought this up on the Friday show. He was blasting My Chemical Romance in that IG story. I'm like just sitting there. I'm like, is he a scene kid? Is he an emo? Like what is this? Is he hardcore dancing in his fucking mansion to Census Fail, Papa Roach, My Chemical Romance, and like Death Cab for Cutie and all that bullshit. Sure enough, shows up to media day looking as he does. He does the whole I'm emo thing. I loved all the comments were like, he's 34. This man is 34 years old. Just that was like the big like thing. He's going through a phase. Nah, when you're not going through a phase. If you keep going to Hot Topic every now and every year in and year out, it's not a phase. That's more just me projecting on myself. But uh, either way, any thoughts on Jimmy Butler and his emo phase right now?
And he thought that he was going to have Damian Lillard on his team, and they get nothing at all.
Yeah,
So he's going through it right now, man. And it's just funny to think that this is how he looked on media day. So all of his pictures for fantasy or anything regarding the upcoming season, he'll look like this.
that's so
So it's just,
funny.
I
I mean,
love
yeah,
it.
they did it last year. He did that last year with the long dreads, long
Yeah.
hair, and then he ended up changing that too. So it's a good gag. It's a good bit. I don't mind. I think this is absolutely hilarious. Good thing
The
to just
fact that that's going to be his fantasy basketball picture, like that's just
I didn't even
hilarious.
think about it that way. That's absolutely hysterical. uh, quick two more quick things in NBA, and we'll finish off with the wrestling. I really want to hammer the results and really focus on the AEW show, but uh, better news from Lonzo Ball. The quote was he says he's only 25 years old, meaning that this is an encouraging way to say that he's gonna be trying to play basketball eventually. So hopefully that's for the Bulls. I don't know if you just saw that article. Any thoughts on that?
Um, I did not see that. I saw he was wearing the jersey at the media day. So, I mean, I hope that he's all gets better and is all good to go eventually, man. It's
Yeah.
been a rough for him.
Yeah. And hopefully he wasn't wearing these new City Connect jerseys, which are absolutely awful. Those went viral as well. The Bulls City Connect jerseys, yes, the Bulls and the Mavs City Connect jerseys look like the first project you would do in Photoshop. You're like, hey, what's the first thing I can do? I'm gonna make a jersey. This is what you would make and come up with. Absolutely atrocious. Nike, just do it. Nike, just do better. This is absolutely atrocious. So, any thoughts on these terrible looking jerseys?
The Bulls one looks worse too. It's
Yeah.
like what it just looks awful. It's just the numbers not even like in a good
The number's
spot.
so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not it's nowhere near centered. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
it just pisses me off. There's so much open area, like open
Yeah.
space. Why?
And the vertical letters, like you're not even gonna try and turn it into like the Chicago theater sign or something. Like do anything else besides this. This is awful. I mean,
That's true.
you could even I would have been fine if you copied and paste last year's anything and just did something. This was not this, anything but this. I don't know. I haven't bought an authentic basketball jersey in a long time. Don't plan on it anytime soon. If this
Yeah.
is what's going to be churned out. There you go. That's that. On to if you're good on that, we can finish off with the wrestling. And I don't want to. Yes, we're going a little deep. So it is what it is. We can blow through the wrestle dream, overall thoughts, results from everything, and then of course, I'm blowing the lead. I'm Adam Copeland, Edge,
Hmm.
officially all elite. That is the talk of the town. Of course, that came at the very, very end of the show, but for the sake of time and everything, let's talk about this now. I mean, overall thoughts, your reaction, what was going through that head of yours when you saw the like it was almost like the Quentin Tarantino video presentation, and then he gets in the car and the video is rated R, and we're like, we knew, but what were your thoughts? Because I liked how you were getting it. You were getting giddy in it for very good reason.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, just thinking about it now, it's crazy. Edge is always one of my favorites growing up. I mean, I never thought he would wrestle again with all his neck issues. And I'd always thought he was a WWE guy through and through. So I never even imagined in my mind him being able to have a match with Kenny Omega, maybe, or whoever the fuck he's going to fight in AEW. I
Well,
mean, it's,
Luchasaurus first, and then everybody
yeah,
else
that's
next.
official.
Yes.
Luchasaurus is his first match, so fuck you, Tony Khan, putting him up against the oldest person on the roster, the most experience. But I'm sure Edge will get it. Adam Copeland. See, that's not
That's
he's
good.
he's Edge, but
Yeah, no, MJF did that too during the media scrum, and you heard TK go, "Hey, hey, 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 hey!" And he goes, "Adam Copeland."
yeah, like
I
I'm
love
good.
MJF.
I'm
He's so
usually
funny.
good with that, with fixing with their new names, and but this, I mean, this one's gonna be tough because this is Edge. I mean, he's been Edge his whole career, and this is
Yes,
he's Edge. He's
yes.
was one of my favorite heels. I mean, people hate John Cena, but him and John Cena's feud always back in the day, I always loved them going back and forth, and like John Cena breaking into his hotel room and just like all of that shit that
That
they
would probably
did.
be, yeah. You know what? That might be Cena. That might be my favorite. If I have to choose one, that might be my favorite Cena rivalry, if there is one, between Edge, Cena, Edge and Taker, and Edge and Mick Foley. I mean that
Mm.
some of the best rivalries right there. I mean, Edge is such a good storyteller, such a good heel. And
Oh
I was
yeah.
in the same boat. It was like, damn, it didn't feel real until he was in the ring. And as soon as he was, I'm like, there's I mean, I don't want to get all tribalistic and be like, oh man, we got him now, we can get more. But like the door is wide open. If Edge said he's like open to change and go into the where we're all thinking like he's a WWE guy through and through. When he retires, he's gonna go work a producer, as a coach or something. He's still going. His his retirement match or his last official WWE match kind of blown under the rug, and here he is now, front and center, ready to go. I'm all for it. This is gonna be awesome. I just I, it's not like he's taking any star. He's not taking any shine away from anybody else. This was a big get for AEW, and I'm glad. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the back are probably ecstatic that
I mean, yeah.
Adam Copeland is here.
Legit, he's gonna be put into this like the role that CM Punk would have had now. Like he's the CM Punk, like because I saw they already put him on the cover of the Collision promos now. Like he's the face of that on in front center, and so it's like he's gonna take up that veteran role that everyone knows Edge. It's just the same with
Yes.
CM Punk. Everyone knew who CM Punk was. It's like everyone. It's just Edge is an even more popular name than CM Punk. Honestly, Edge is a fucking won so many world championships. I think like oh my god, I
Some people
can't
wanted to
believe.
argue there's like, oh my god, yeah, but CM Punk, his name's been chanted in the arenas for the past 9 years, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, while Edge was in those arenas, still wrestling and being a part, be not being a jackass.
Mm.
Sorry, Punky, like
Uh,
we like you, we love you, but
I
it
love
is what it
CM
is
Punk,
now.
but I can name a lot more Edge matches that I remember than CM Punk. So, I mean, I just personally, and this is even just before all this shit with CM Punk, but I like Edge more than CM Punk. He's always been one of my favorites for sure. I mean, again, he's one of the best heels. I feel like him and Randy Orton back in the day were always just such assholes. Like, you know, you're a good heel when I'm a kid, and I'm like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah,
I
dude.
hate you so much. Him and Lita were awesome. And
I want you
now
dead, but come back next week because I want to see you on TV, please.
and now the cuffs are off, man. He can be that rated R superstar here in AEW. There's no PG limits for him. They can do whatever the hell he wants. We might be seeing eventually down the line some diabolical Edge. It seems like we're going to see a good Edge right now. He's going to be feuding with Christian, and which ended up being the main reason why he's here. He was talking about it today in the conference or the day before, but
The media scrum,
yeah, he said he was asking his daughters what he should do, and they said that you should go be with Uncle Jay, which is Christian, and they said it will make you happy, and that I could. It just makes me so happy for Edge. He started his career with Christian, and he's gonna end it with his best friend. He's been friends with him for 40 years. So if anyone's hating on Edge for going here saying he's a betrayer, like he betrayed us,
Oh, that was the thing too.
fuck
So many people
you.
crying,
Yeah,
throwing away and burning their Edge t-shirts or throwing away their Edge action figures. Like, oh yeah, that's gonna make Edge or Adam Copeland go back. That's gonna make him change his mind.
and again, like Jim, if people WWE fans are just so stupid with that shit. Like, we've always been Edge, like even since we've loved AEW for years and years, but we've never been like Edge sucks now because
Yeah.
he's still in W. Like we're not like, oh, Edge is just old as dumb as hell, retired, like just retire already. Like I've always liked Edge, and even I've been AEW guy, but Edge is awesome, and now the fact that he's here is just this is couldn't get any more cool. It's
Yeah.
just it's so awesome.
Looking around on X on Twitter, again, you always see the posts and you always like hear after the fact, but never have I like firsthand saw like like the tribalistic way that people tweet. It's just like, I've always been a diehard Edge fan, this, that, and the other. He's going over to AEW. I still won't watch AEW. He's like, he's like, Adam Cole went over, I still didn't watch. CM Punk went over, I still didn't watch. Edge is going over, I'm still not gonna watch.
Good for you.
Sorry. I'm just like, well, if you're that locked in, and then this person's excuse was, oh, there's just so much wrestling on it all the time, and I just can't pay attention. AEW's not my cup of tea. No, you're locked into just being a WWE mark, and that could have been a bot account, whatever, but it is absolutely crazy. And just sidebar really quick, because we were talking about the media scrum. How about Christian just absolutely fucking bodying Brian Alvarez?
I did see that. I could not tell if he was serious or if that was like I was like that seems like he was so dead ass serious, but I just don't know wrestling sometimes. I don't know if he was just playing a role or
Someone in the comments was like, oh my god, it's like, come on, man, Brian Alvarez was just doing his job. And then everyone was like, Christian Cage was just doing his job, being a heel, being an
yeah.
ass wipe, and doing, man, I mean, I knew Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, those guys are a little bit of weenies, but you need to have something to come back with.
Yeah, he did not say anything.
And what a mark question to have. What was your reaction to the first time you saw Nick Wayne wrestle? The fuck kind of question is that, Brian? I'm sorry, but what? I get it, they're running the storylines together, but that is not what you ask at that time after that just happened. Are you kidding me? So I'm glad that he got bodied for that
Yeah.
that was just funny.
Yes, Brian Alvarez, like, have
just
you
give it a cool little
wrestled?
star rating.
Yeah, have you wrestled in the past? He's like, yes, I have. And he's like, oh, you must have been terrible. That's why you're sitting here right now asking me questions. And it was just so silent. I was like, oh
You
no.
heard others laughing. They were laughing either at Brian or just reacting to how cringe this whole interaction was. Oh,
Also, just
I've
again,
rewatched it 100 times. It was so funny. Oh
we
my
saw
god.
Brian Alvarez that one time
Yeah.
at the show.
Nice
You were like, hey,
guy.
Brian
Yeah,
Alvarez.
he was nice to meet. I'm not, I like the way that he covers, but I'm also in that sense of like, the way that him and Meltzer cover AEW, they could be a detriment because everyone looks to them for all this insight and they never really say anything bad. Sometimes they do, but it's not really like a really like harsh criticism as it should be. And that makes everyone be like, oh, well, it's all friends wrestling. There's all this and all that. There's no room for like actual improvement or whatever. But it could be because of them. And I'm not, I like the way that they do. I like the way that they write. But just, yeah, it is funny when the nerds just get fucking body slammed like that. So, man, that was like I said, love that everything in between.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Jesus, we didn't really even get to the results or anything just yet. Just kind
Matches
of
in AEW.
yeah. I mean, Wrestle
God.
Dream was exactly that. It was an absolute fucking dream. The 0 hour was jam packed. Don't need to go through everything, but just want to start off with the well, let me see. Was there anything from the 0 hour really important? The 4-way mixed tag match, nothing. Josh Barnett and Claudio. It was cool that Josh Barnett put over Claudio. Acclaimed and TD versus TDMK. Acclaimed retain. That makes sense. And then Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. That was a quick squash match set up for the storyline, I guess, towards the end of the night. I'm Nick Wayne. We're started off with MJF versus the Righteous in a handicap match. MJF basically went ahead and recapped why Adam Cole wasn't there and whatnot, but I wouldn't say a squash match. Entertaining. He said he's gonna body slam the fat one, and then he's Dutch, and then he's gonna shove Vincent up his ass, and sure enough he did. He did all the gimmicky stuff. Get in, get out, 1, 2, 3. I hope it doesn't, bury the Righteous necessarily. It absolutely set them up to even just be on TV and put on those really cool vignettes and at all. But I think the Righteous are on the right path, and so are the Kingdom. So two basically involved in this story. Anything from this match?
Good on MJF. I didn't think MJF was gonna win this, so
Yeah, I thought this would have been
decision.
another opportunity for them to drop this and get these tag titles off of them, but on they go. This fallout's gonna be crazy. I hope. Let me see.
I mean,
oh,
it
good.
just makes me think: if Adam Cole was hurt, they would have had him lose the titles. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah, I got that brewing in the back on the later on, but you brought it up now. Some are speculating, is this Adam Cole injury a work? And I don't want to be the guy that says that this, that, and the other. I'm not a doctor. That is, this is not my degree. This is just a Reggie Miller toy. If my ankle exploded, like he claims it did, when he did jump off the apron, I guess the adrenaline's pumping and whatnot, but I wouldn't be able to stand. I wouldn't be able to do a gosh darn thing if my ankle exploded in 30 different ways, like he explained that it did on Dynamite. So is this a work? And even more input. If you saw that Righteous promo, you saw that on those strings with the paper people, MJF had one. Adam Cole holding hands together. A little bit off to the left was Roderick Strong. He was neck strong. He had his neck brace on, and the Kingdom were right next to him. But then there were 6 more. 6 more stick figures. Who were those 6 more? The people that beat up Jay White after Dynamite. This goes pretty deep, and this is really exciting. And that's why the possibility of Adam Cole either not being hurt is on the table. I personally think Jack Perry maybe is the one behind the mask, because the devil it definitely wasn't MJF. I believe. Call me crazy. I believe MJF when he says he didn't beat Jay White after it. I don't need no proof.
It was not him. That guy was way too skinny.
Yeah, that was my point. Way too skinny, way too narrow. Jack Perry. Jack Perry's that skinny. I don't know. That's me with my eyes and my brain.
I forgot about that. And that Wrestle Dream was so awesome. I wasn't like, fuck, they didn't even answer that yet. So that's damn.
The new era of Dynamite the Rated R era starts this Wednesday. So that was the new era that's going to be upon us. So that's going to be cool. I mean,
yeah.
That's been the talk of the town. That's been the setup. So like I said, Adam Cole, injured or not. And as of right now, from what I've been grabbing together, if it is a worked injury, maybe only 4 people might know that this is a work, and it would probably be TK, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, and like one other person.
But this day and age of wrestling, if they
If they
they
pull
pull
that
this
off,
off, yeah.
yeah, that. And I would think if you go back and you can always save this debate for a long time, like what ruined wrestling? The internet has ruined wrestling without a doubt. It's ruined many things, but the idea of spoiler alerts and this, that, and the other, not being able to hold down news and dirt sheets constantly trying to break the first story and get the most likes and retweets. This would be crazy if they were able to pull this
I
off.
mean,
Like
yeah,
you
it's just
said.
like to think with Edge or Adam Copeland. It's like if we didn't have social media and like
Yeah.
no one, if we didn't like, because we had the idea that he's been talking with AEW, they've been talking for a while just through social media. So it's just like, imagine if we had no idea or anything that Edge was even his contract was up, that he was talking with it, like just if he just showed up, like I would have been going
Yeah.
insane
I would have shit
around
my
my
pants.
apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this would if somehow, some way they pull this off, this would be like Sandman wasn't blind the whole time level of like fucking pop that you would get. I know, that was a little older, but for like 3 months back in the day, the ECW had pulled off that Sandman was basically legitimately blind, and then he rips off his fucking bandages and beats the shit out of Tommy Dreamer and everyone in the ECW arena.
What?
And yes, and this was the 90s, because again, no internet, no one knew nothing. They legitimately thought the Sandman was blind, and he kayfabed it up. He would go home, he wouldn't go out places, he would just drink and smoke at home for 3 months, and he fucking comes back to the ECW arena. They think he's blind. This motherfucker's not blind.
He did it for 3 months?
It could have been more. I honestly don't
Oh
know.
my
It was
God.
a long time. He was like, I think he was working an injury, but they played off that he was blind for some reason. So
I'm
I'll have to
blind.
try and pull that one up for you and try and figure it out. But yeah, that is commitment, my friend. That's wrestling. All over the place as usual. Got through MJF and the Righteous. I don't know exactly. I know. I can just get through the rest of the just how it is for honestly, just in terms of importance. Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. was Danielson's promo afterward. He's legitimately choked up and crying. He says that's the greatest match that he's ever had. And if that's the case, that's the greatest match that's ever happened ever, because I would argue that Danielson is probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. That, like, I said it on the fucking wrestling show that we do, Bad Karma Wrestling. That match alone would have been, if the pay-per-view was $100 and that was the only match on the card, I would have paid for it. I would have watched it again. I would paid for it multiple times. I don't care. That was so awesome to watch. Literally, like Nigel and probably John Moxley brought up, and shout out to John Moxley on commentary all night. That was great. Like, no, what, 2 strikes, and like the final one was the knee at the end. Basically, this was amazing. This was so awesome to watch. So, any thoughts, Zack Sabre Jr., Danielson?
Beautiful technical wrestling, and we get it. It was a year coming. They're supposed to happen last year, Forbidden Door, and Brandon Danielson was dealing with an injury at the time, so unfortunately we didn't get it, but we got it now in his hometown, Danielson, and it was awesome, man. And it's Aubrey was the ref, and I saw Aubrey was in the crowd the day that Daniel O'Brien retired with his injury, and now here she is reffing his match against, I mean,
I didn't even think about that. That's
one of
pretty
his
cool.
favorite matches ever. I mean, that's crazy. Wrestling is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that with the Aubrey Edwards thing. I know she gets a little cringy at times, but still, that's still pretty cool for her. All at the end of the day. All right. If you're good on that one, huge one in my mind, and probably it may not be the. It was honestly up there with one of the better matches for sure. Obviously, Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. runs away with it because it has to. But in terms of getting the most important win, Swerve Strickland beating Adam Hangman Page was a must, and that was such a huge push. And I'm so glad that he not only the way that he won clean, dominant. They they try to do that whole thing where it's like, oh, Hangman's hurt, but then he comes over the top rope and double stomps, gets him in. You think Adam Hangman's gonna pull through because he kicks out the first time, and then they just doubles down on his finisher. Some can say that's overkill. Others can just be like, all right, that's just really just making it nice and even, getting a clean win as it is. Like I said, if it had gone the other way, I'd have been very upset. I would have been bashing this whole thing, and I probably would have been just very upset all the way through. But humongous, great decision, important win. The right person won. Swerve Strickland, congratulations. This next set of matches, whatever rivalry, is going to be great. I can't wait. So, any thoughts on Swerve and Hangman?
Yeah, I mean, it's another hometown. Swerve's when we drive in his hometown, he wins, and he should have a big push coming up for him after this.
Rightfully deserved. He fucking deserves it. I honestly can't think of a guy right now that deserves it more than Swerve Strickland right now. I don't know. I've been saying this for weeks on end now, almost a couple months now. What he's churning out, his performances, top notch, is the best of his career. So I don't know, whatever chip on his shoulder that he had from maybe getting released back in the day, it is coming full circle.
He was in
Hit
Row.
He was in
Hit Row. Like, just he's so good now.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's just what a full 180. And then even like I guess losing the tag titles, and he had that Keith Lee bit, but then just now on a very huge hot rise right now, and I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. We got FTR and Aussie Open. Interesting that they retained FTR. I thought this would have been time for that maybe to actually flip, but I can't be mad either which way. This was a phenomenal match. I honestly didn't know how deceivingly big are Aussie Open. I did not know how tall both of them were until they were an entire head taller than FTR, both of them. So I didn't really even think about that or notice that. But either way, athletic, great all the way around. I mean, can't go wrong with an FTR Aussie Open match, especially when they're facing each other. So this was a treat on top of everything that we already had going on in this match. And can you talk just overall match, just going through these matches? I know we're going out of order, but the way this was organized was pretty damn cool too. Just the nice flow, good way that it was. Of course, Brian Last in the fucking Jim Cornette podcast wants to complain. Can wrestling pay-per-views get an intermission? Yeah, go to bed, you old fuck. That's why. Yeah, maybe stop smoking and eating all those edibles. Maybe us young guns can fucking handle our stuff and stay awake and get through. I was in 3 hours of sleep, motherfucker, and I was still watching these goddamn matches. Don't give a fuck. We're here. We love wrestling. Wow. You want to complain about wrestling and you don't want to act like it. You complain about wrestling and you make money off of it, and you don't want to fucking pretend. You pretend like you don't. God, you sick sons of bitches. I hate you. I did a full 180 on those fucks. I used to listen, not religiously, but just to kind of engage and get an understanding. But now that I just really pull back the fucking curtain, they're just bitching to bitch. They don't like anything. They don't give a fuck. So it's all because sour grapes. Are these guys going to get hired? No, they fucking aren't. So there you go. Brian Last, Jim Cornette. Suck my dick. You're going to just not enjoy wrestling and bitch about it. Fuck yeah. Honestly, you're getting the best quality wrestling at all time. I'm fucking shooting on everybody today. Cubs fans, Jim Cornette. I don't give a fuck this episode. Let's go, dude. Aussie Open FTR, thoughts on that?
I'll say.
There you go. Oi, oi, oi. Let's see. Chugging ahead. Jericho, Omega, Kota Ibushi. They won, or did I think they won, right? I can't even remember, right?
Did they win? I
don't remember. Honestly, which is I'm looking at the results. But... it was okay. I just want to hit the top ones. Kingston and Shibata, they just chopped the shit out of each other. Starks and Yuta, they beat the shit out of each other, and that was fun to watch too. Young Bucks, Luchasaurus, or excuse me, Young Bucks, Lucha Bros, Hook and Orange, and then the Guns, with the winners being the Young Bucks. So I guess setting up for FTR and Young Bucks 4. Thoughts on that, or just thoughts on the match in general?
Well, they never disappoint, so why not?
Yeah, fucking why not? Yeah, I kind of breezed through the Starks and Wheeler Yuta, but again, two young guns that are just fucking hitting on all cylinders. Statlander and Julia Hart. Honestly, Julia Hart's got a nice little like following. I mean, I guess. I mean, she's getting a huge push. Didn't know she had a 28 match win streak going into that matchup. Actually getting cheers and Statlander getting booed. Interesting enough, but that just makes up for what it is. Overall, I mean, just Statlander gets the win, yeah, rightfully so, but I guess a good showing by Julia Hart and somewhat of a I guess what would it be, a base for the women's division. So that's okay in my mind. Finally, I think that's just about it. Besides Christian Cage and Darby Allin, which was the main event,
Oh,
and I mean, Jesus Christ. Darby needs to be saved from himself, because it was clear as day that Christian Cage did not want to throw him onto those stairs. And then Darby probably whispered into his ear, "Fucking do it." And then he just like, "Okay, here's your arm directly on the stairs." That was the gnarliest, just roughest looking bump we had ever seen. And then following up with, he's on the stretcher. And here comes the frog splash from Christian Cage. But at least Christian Cage getting a head start for the Road Crew, demolishing the ring, so that was nice of him for sure.
yeah.
Overall, I mean, of course, the main event was the main event, but the main event was Adam Copeland, Edge being involved, debuting. So, but
And
just
Nick
overall
Wayne
thoughts.
turning
Yeah.
on Darby.
Yes, Nick Wayne turning on Darby, and a lot of people are sitting there, and I think I'm in that same group. Justifiable heel turn. It wasn't like, oh, this is just stupid, just doesn't make any sense. But there was that whole ordeal with AR Fox and Swerve coming to beat the shit and basically kill Nick Wayne at his own house, and then Darby accepting AR Fox's apology. Nick Wayne does not, so that builds the tension there. And of course, the idea of the head guy and then a predecessor coming up. So there's that also storyline. So it makes sense. Sting came down nonchalantly. It was pretty funny. Somebody pointed out that when Sting was coming down, Christian Cage was like acting like the cheers were for him. So he's like, yeah, thank you very much. I deserve this. And it was Sting coming down the ring. Then of course, like I said, set up for everyone's getting beat up. Who's gonna come save Sting and Darby? It's Adam Copeland, and he's playing it off like, oh, he's gonna do the concerto. He ends up hitting Luchasaurus. He hits Nick Wayne, or vice versa, and then he's about to hit Christian Cage. He flips out. Wow.
And then a spear for Lucha and Nick
And
Wayne.
they got it on TV. You said it. You called it. They actually were able to see it. People were actually fucking able to see him, like the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, whatever else he was in. This was great overall. I mean, just glad to see that every single match again. It's crazy that every single time we're like, damn, how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna pull through? How are they gonna do it? These feels like these pay-per-views are coming a little tighter and tighter each time now. And TK's been able to do it, and it's really just thanks to the superstars and the wrestlers. Sorry, the superstars, the wrestlers, however you want to label them. They're just performing. I had 110%, 150%. Baller matches. If we want to give the Meltzer and Alvarez 5-star ratings, they're killing it in the star ratings. Great pay-per-views in and out, and then this is gonna set up a nice fucking just the way for AEW for time being. So love the rated R era, love Wrestle Dream. Great night. Any final thoughts lingering on Wrestle Dream?
Let's go, Edge. Let's go, Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland.
Can get my shirt right away.
Oh yes, there you go. Go get your rated R t-shirt or wherever it was. And then, I think that's about it in terms of the wrestling, other than just another AEW Thanksgiving show coming to Chicago. So this will be posted come Wednesday. Get your tickets. We'll come see our faces. We're probably gonna make sure we're there. They're there every single time, every single Thanksgiving. Oh, they'll be at the Wintrust. All right, that's fine too. I thought they were gonna run it back at the Now Arena. Either way, does not matter. They coming to make a good little showing. So love it. We'll be there. Any final thoughts on this just episode in general? Because this might wrap up episode 38 on the day. Check, please.
Please, no, I think I'm all good. It's been a great episode, and yeah, can't wait for the next one, man. As
Oh yeah.
always.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Mike, as always, for joining me. I know this is going a little late, but we roll with the punches. We roll with the stuff. This is always fun to talk about. Thank you, everyone, as always, for tuning in, liking, subscribing, doing what you can. I messed up. That's okay. You know what, Troy? I got you on Friday. I'm gonna play your call. I'm gonna play. It's gonna be during right before my second segment. I got you for sure. I got you. No worries. No, you're okay. You're okay. Yes, just strap for time for sure. Thank you for saying that, Troy. Thank you for always listening, Troy. Thank you, Alan, for taking those notes. Thank you, everybody, for liking, subscribing, sharing us around, following us on everything. Like and subscribe and follow us on the twitch.tv/SportsTownShy. That's how I'll be going live on Fridays. Follow Bad Karma Wrestling. Like and subscribe over there. We're talking strictly wrestling over there on Fridays right before I go live. Like and subscribe here. Like and subscribe here. Like and subscribe here. It's all free. Helps us out. It's all fun. Helps you out. And I hope you enjoy everything. We'll be talking next week just about everything like usual. Football, fantasy, and everything else in between. Got MLB playoffs right around the corner as well. Or it's already here. What am I talking about? Either way, thank you for joining in, tuning in. We'll see yous.
Out.